We have made it. Whew. I wonder if this shows up in the live section. Yes, it does. So I have to drop my own volume over here. Today we're going to talk about these political campaigns, the mayoral elections. There's a lot of different things that I think we're going to talk about here, but we'll see. We'll see exactly how far we get into this conversation. Hopefully it doesn't become a problematic debate, because that's not what I'm looking to do here today. I just want to talk about what the situation is, about what some of the people who I've talked to's thoughts are on this mayoral election, the campaigns. Even the presidency isn't as serious as you would want it to be, especially considering that it's such a big deal. It should be such a big deal. Also, I'm starting a bit late. I had thought to start either at 2 or 3, but in the process of seeing if I could get my dad was gonna be the person who I wanted to join me, but he was way too busy, and at this time he takes advantage of this time to relax, because after this at around 5ish, he always goes to work, technically around 4:30 to 5, so I'd rather not bother him. If he can't join me, that's cool. I also had another friend who is part lawyer, part teacher, and I was hoping that he would join the show, join today's live stream, but unfortunately he's also got things to do. He's got to take care of his family, and he told me he couldn't, but I will have him as a future guest in the podcast that I have. By the way, I hope everyone who watches this, I hope you've watched the first podcast episode. So far, we're gonna call it Ace Talks, because I really like the name. We'll always be talking about Ecuador topics, or things related to travel, things related to our experiences here in Ecuador. And like I explained in the previous live stream that we had, the main difference between the podcast and a normal video that I upload to my channel is that in the podcast, I'll be focusing on trying to give more detailed information, going a little bit more in depth, because I don't know how many people realize this, but when it comes to video making, videography, content creation for YouTube or for any platform, if it's too long, most of the time it's not well received. Some people will, some people won't. It's actually a bit of a risk, being straight up with you guys. It's a bit of a risk to post it on the channel, because if it doesn't get a lot of views, then the channel suffers. That's the way YouTube works. YouTube, you get views, people watch your videos, so they keep wanting to watch more. And that shows YouTube that there's interest. But people see a 30-minute video, 40-minute video, 50, an hour, longer. I don't plan on making very long podcasts, live streams. This just depends how long we take, to talk, have fun, have a conversation between us. But the podcast, I'm gonna always try to keep them an hour or less. But like I was saying, if it's too long and someone sees that the video is too long, they might be less compelled to watch it. They'll see that it's too long, and it's more likely that they won't watch it than they will. That's why most people, they don't have podcasts mixed into their main channel. They make 2 different channels, one channel for podcasts, one channel for main videos. There's even people who have made channels for YouTube Shorts, and people have divided these things in order to avoid one thing affecting the other. And that's normal. That's strategy. It's also business, because for a lot of creators who do this full time, it's work. It makes them the money that they need. Having more channels means diversifying the subscribers, having more viewers in a specific thing. Like I said, if you like watching an hour-long podcast, or listening to podcasts for an hour, you probably won't want to watch the shorts. You probably, oh no, I prefer to listen to a long form video like a podcast, or listen to it or watch it. So you would probably subscribe to a podcast channel. But on the other hand, if you only like short videos, then you would probably say, no, I don't want to subscribe to a podcast channel. I want to subscribe to a shorts channel with shorter videos. So that's why there's diversification of these different types of video format, because it's more convenient for the creator and they don't confuse the people who are watching, their audience. It makes it easier for everyone to choose, and like I said, it diversifies also the income stream, because you don't only have to rely on your main channel, you can also rely on your podcast channel and on your shorts channel, and those things, it's all convenient for those who go with this full time. For me, I only have this channel. This is the only channel that I manage on YouTube. I do have a TikTok that I don't really use anymore. I'll sometimes post my short videos on there, but they're only like a minute long or less, and it's mainly stuff related to exercise, stuff related to other things that have nothing to do with Ecuador. I even have one of those videos here on this channel, a short, but it's not the video. It was before I decided to focus only on my Ecuador content. So it's not my main focus for YouTube. It's my main focus for Instagram. It's my main focus for maybe TikTok, but not for YouTube. And I do one day want to do some other things like gaming. Maybe I want to travel to other countries as well to make better comparisons. But for now, my main focus is here. You guys, I really want you to know that I'm focused on making the best content possible. That's why I make the polls. And the other day I asked if you wanted to see a live stream or just the long form video that I was planning on making about the situation of Vera de Ucrania. And the majority chose the both of them, the live stream and the video of Vera. So I already recorded the video. I'm in the process of editing it, but I promised I would do the live stream too before the elections. So we're here today to talk about the political campaign, a little bit like just the surface level stuff. We can go a little bit deeper, but only as about deep as I can get, because I'm not someone who likes to look at politics a lot. Politics are they're complicated because there's always so many things that go into them. And when I was in the States, I didn't get to the level where I could really understand politics. I just remember some elections, and I remember wanting someone to win because that was the person who sounded like they were saying the best things. They were giving the best solutions. But when I got here, it was really difficult to understand everything that was happening because it felt like the system was different. So we have a few things to talk about today, less than last time because this time there's no birthday. I have less topics about news in Ecuador. I guess the only news I could talk about, which I literally have here, I did want to show you the reality because I've been saying recently that the newspapers always show you the worst thing. That's why I don't like reading the newspapers or watching the news. I always hear the news from people who like to watch it or listen to it and give me more of a summary of what happened. Sometimes I'll look into it myself if it's very interesting or if I feel like it's going to be useful to you. But most of the time I prefer to avoid it because it poisons your mind. And we're gonna do a bit of a tangent here, talk about health, because mental health is very important for all of us. We talked a little bit about our normal health on the podcast with Don Shader. Hopefully Don Shader's doing well. I really enjoyed interviewing him, and it was really fun getting to finally know him because we had been coordinating for so long, so it was a great time. If you haven't watched the podcast, well, listen to it. You can listen to it whenever you have free time. You don't have to watch it. There are only transitions where you'll see that the camera will zoom in or zoom out because podcasts are mainly made to be listened to. So if you want to listen to it, then perfect. If you want to watch it, you can watch it too to see our facial expressions. That's what I like about video making. You can see more realistically what the person is doing. It's kind of like when you talk to someone about the difference between sending a message and seeing them in person. You can send a message, and in my message I can say ha ha ha, ha lol, and you'll think that the person is laughing, but in reality, in person, they'll probably just be really serious, like ha 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 ha, like just making it seem like they laugh. But if you can see them, then it's more realistic what they're doing, what they're feeling at that moment. So I personally prefer it, but I understand everyone has their preferences. But I'm going back to the situation with health and mental health, to be more specific. When it comes to news, the newspaper, we're always getting this horrible amount of news of bad things happening. The elections, terrible enough as it is. We'll talk about that in a bit. But the newspaper almost always comes with an article of some murder, like someone being killed. And it's not like, that's why when people tell me that I exaggerate when I say, no, you're crazy, that there's nothing bad that happens in Ecuador, that comment is more unrealistic than me being realistic and saying that bad things sometimes do happen. Not all the times. Realize I said sometimes, not all the time. And it's really important to know that, and I'm going to talk a lot. You're going to notice in the video that I'm making about the situation with Vera de Ucrania. I'm going to talk a lot about the situation here, like not going into too much detail, because there could be repercussions when people talk about these things. Just think about it from the perspective of a group of people who don't want other people to know about bad things so that they can continue doing them. It's inconvenient when someone talks about the situation as it is. So, and for people, I think for people here, most Ecuadorians, it's always the problem of they think that what I say is going to make people not want to visit Ecuador. When on the contrary, I think if I'm being real with you, you're gonna want to visit because you like the realness. You understand the full situation. But when you're left in the dark of something, like something is not completely explained or unclear, it makes you doubt of whether you should come and what you should do, what the situation really is. So I understand that frustration, and that's why I like being real with everyone when we talk about the situation here in Ecuador. Not just the good things, but the bad things too. But not focusing on the bad things, just making sure that we know that they exist. So let's talk about the political situation here. And like my title for this video says, I was actually thinking of making something a little bit less aggressive, like I don't get politics here, because I really sometimes don't. And a lot of people have told me from outside the country, like United States and stuff, that some of the things that happen here in politics are normal in the United States. And I'm not exactly 100% sure. If someone in the comments hears something that I say and that's normal in the States, please leave a message in the chat, in the live chat. Tell me, I don't mind. If you have to correct me for something that's not right, that's fine. I just don't want to be completely ignorant, but I don't want to bombard myself with things that I feel are just going to deteriorate my mental health. And I think I got off track with the mental health situation, but the news and everything, it's even been investigated by the doctor that I mentioned on Don Shader in the podcast with Don Shader, Dr. Berg. It does mess with your mental health. You become more stressed. You start to deteriorate. Your body starts to lose function. Obviously, it's not just the result of that, the news, the bad news. It is a big influencing factor, but it's not the only thing. It just influences the way that you feel. And everything else in the process also influences. If you don't do exercise, your body stays, sedentary. And you start to become lazy. You start to become, not lazy in the sense that you don't want to do anything, but your body is telling you not to do anything, because it's kind of forcing that signal on you because you've gotten so used to it. Eating healthy, that could stress you out too if you don't eat well a lot and you just eat well sometimes. And I'm not here to tell you what you have to do, because I can't force anyone to do anything. But if I can help with some advice, then I'm always here to try to make sure everyone has the best experience, not just in Ecuador, but in their lives. I have always wanted to be very motivational in that sense. because I feel like anything is possible as long as you put in the effort and you're willing to be disciplined with yourself and love yourself more. So I keep getting off track. Politics. So the two guests that I wanted to have here today, one was going to be my dad. If he couldn't, I wanted to have one of my friends join us. My friend couldn't, but he will be joining me in a future podcast. Might be the next one, might be two after that. We'll be having podcast episodes every 2 weeks, hopefully, and eventually I'm hoping I can make it a weekly thing. If I can get guests, or if I can find topics that I can talk about on my own. It all depends, really. It's still a process for me. I'm not master podcaster. That's why even with Don Shader, we discussed the topic of podcast to see what was best, what was ideal, because it's a cool thing to do, but it's not an easy thing to do. Some people I think you just point and record, and that's not the situation. It takes a lot of work to make videos. So, talking about politics, the situation with politics right now, obviously we're in the mayoral campaigns, and just looking at the situation in my city, we don't even have to go much further than where I'm at right now. Looking at the situation of my city, specifically Puerto Viejo, it's not good. I mean, it's not good in the sense that if you think back, and this is a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. It's over here, story of what I've seen. It's just, you go back in time in Puerto Viejo, like to when I first got here. And I recently received a comment of someone saying that it's irrelevant to talk about how the streets had holes in them, how everything wasn't good. It's not irrelevant because that's the reality that I lived through and the reality that the Ecuadorians here who have lived all their lives have lived through. And that reality doesn't just come because, oh, we want to have holes in our city. What person, let me ask you, do you want to have holes in your city, like on the streets? Do you want to drive your car and have to look out for potholes every 5 seconds because that's just the way it is? Like, do you just sit down and accept that as a reality? No, not really. It's frustrating to think that we can't talk about these things because we instantly get bombarded by people who think that it's us exaggerating, us talking about things that no longer exist. Regardless if they don't exist completely, they still do exist. There are streets here, and I talk about this in the video, and you'll probably hear something similar again later on. But there are streets here that have friends who have been living here their whole lives, and that street has been in the same condition since forever. Sometimes they're the rocky streets, like the rocky alleyways, I guess you could call them. And sometimes they'll be paved down. Like the rocks will just be paved down, but they won't be completely fixed, cemented. They won't have the correct structure that you would expect from a street, considering the amount of money that is given to a city to improve its conditions. So you wonder what's happening. And like I said, it's not the population, it's not the people who want that to be the way it is. It's obviously got something to do with the government. And you don't have to go all the way to the president because the president shouldn't have to 100% focus all his attention on one city. You just have to go as far as the mayor to see that the mayor, all the years, everyone says it. It's not Ace saying, oh, Ace is crazy. Ace wants to make the people look bad. No, everyone who's lived in Ecuador or who has lived in this city, Puerto Viejo, they always say the mayors before the recent mayor that we had, all the mayors before that, they just robbed all the money. They did nothing. They promised the world. They promised everything you could imagine to make the city better, and the city never got better. That's why there was a time that Puerto Viejo was actually called Puerto Hueco. And I'm gonna write that in the live chat. Puerto with quotations. Puerto Hueco. Because literally the city, Puerto Viejo, was filled with holes. So people would call it Puerto holes, Puerto Hueco, because there were just holes everywhere. And it's unfortunate because when I got here, that gave me the worst first impression. Like, you imagine going to a big city, the capital city of a province, in this case, the capital city of Manabi. You expect everything to be great. Like, oh, this is the capital city. Oh, there's probably going to be a lot of cool things. There was very little things to do. The cities had holes in them. There was dust everywhere. I've talked about that before. So it's like, what did I come here for? Like, I know why I came here for. I came here because I had to come here. I didn't choose to come to Ecuador, to Puerto Viejo. I'm here, and it's very different from a lot of people who get the time and the chance to investigate and make the choice to come to Ecuador. I didn't get that choice. My parents told me we're going to Ecuador, and not too long after, we were in Ecuador. It's a whole story. Like, if I had to say it was a few months before I came to Ecuador, but I never thought about investigating it because I always had the hopes that my parents would change their mind. Things would be different, something would happen. I even had, and this is between us, maybe I'll tell it in the story someday, but I even had the proposal, not marriage proposal, but someone proposed the idea to me to stay with them, a friend of mine, a girl. And she told me, hey, why don't you stay here with us? You can stay with us and you can work here and all that stuff. But I was a kid. I didn't think about staying here. I didn't completely consider the idea. Like, I was like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. That would be so cool. But I guess you could say I'm such a parent's boy that I didn't want to be completely apart from my parents, because even though I came to Ecuador, my dad stayed in the States. My mom was here with us, and my brother too. But I couldn't completely just leave them. It felt early. It felt like I wasn't ready for it. I didn't feel like that was the ideal path for me. Although there are a lot of people who know me, and they always say maybe your life would have been different had you have stayed in the States. Obviously, I wouldn't be covering Ecuador content like I am now, because I'd be in the States and I'd probably be talking about United States content, or I might be so busy with a 9 to 5 that I might not even have time to do content creation. But the situation just changed so dramatically when I had my whole life planned in the United States and then I came over here. But anyways, going back on topic, the first impression that I got from coming to Puerto Viejo, although first I landed in Guayaquil. Well, I landed, if I remember correctly, in Guayaquil, and I stayed in Guayaquil for a long time. I did travel to Machala for some time, and then I came back to Guayaquil. I stayed there for like maybe a month, and then afterwards came to live in Puerto Viejo. And it's just the impression that I got, even from Guayaquil at that time, was so much different, because once again, Guayaquil is a huge city, and it just, I guess when you're so Americanized, if you can call it that, when you're so used to everything you see in the United States, it's a really big culture shock to come to Ecuador and to see how different everything is. Like, it's hard to explain, because I'm pretty sure some people are so used to travel that they say, oh, that's normal. Like, of course, no place is going to be the same. But you're talking about someone who's lived in the States their whole life, and they never had the idea to just leave. The farthest I ever wanted to go when I was in the States was to a place that had snow. New York, maybe Washington. I always wanted to see the snow, but I never did. The furthest I would get was to the beaches of Florida, because I lived in Florida. I would get to Miami Beach, to different parts. Obviously, I went to Disney, Universal Studios, and stuff like that when I was in the States. But I never got the chance to travel outside of the state. And I never expected leaving the country, or to leave the country, and I never expected that leaving the country would be so different. Like, it was kind of like, in my mind, there was probably like copy and paste. Like, this is Florida, copy, paste. This should be Ecuador. Even though I had heard things from a lot of people, I remember asking a friend at the high school in the States, hey, do you know about Ecuador? And she was like, yeah. And I said, oh yeah, what do you know about Ecuador? Oh, it's a forest. I was like, okay. And another friend, she actually had visited Ecuador, but I think she also only visited like Quito, middle of the world, and that was it. Because that's what most people who just come to visit, that's what they know. The smallest part of what the whole country is. And this is another thing that I always, well, not that I always, but that I recently talked about in the video that I'm editing about the situation of Vera. And it's the fact that I get very specific Ecuador comments, questions, and I love it. I love the questions. But it's very difficult to answer this question. What is the weather in Ecuador? Or answer this question. What is it like in Ecuador? Whew, boy. The weather depends on which city you're in. Because right now in Puerto Viejo, just a while ago, it was raining a lot. And now it's calmed down. A few days ago, it was super dry, sunny, hot. It's still hot because it's humid, so I got the air on. And even that's not making me feel better, but better than hot. In different cities, Quito, a lot of people say it's supposed to be cold. My dad was just in Quito a week or two ago. He said it was hot. Like he brought a jacket and everything ready for it to be cold, and it was hot. So the specific question, what is Ecuador like? What is Ecuador's climate? I can't give one universal answer for it. I can tell you what it's like in my city, but I can't tell you what it's like everywhere. I can go into an in-depth analysis on a video talking about the different climates, different times of the year in Ecuador for different cities. That would take a lot of investigation. Very similar to my cost of living video that I recently made. It would take a lot of investigation. But it's possible, and it would give you a better idea of what you're looking for. Because if I were to tell you that it's hot, Ecuador is hot, and you come to Ecuador, but you go to Cuenca, and yes, the altitude obviously influences this, but even, like I said, Quito, higher altitude, still hot. But you go to Cuenca, and it just happens to be cold. What are you gonna think? Ace is lying to me. Ace said it was hot and it's cold. It's not a lie. It's just, for me, where I'm at right now, it's hot. But for you, you landed in a place that was colder, of course, it's gonna be cold. That's just the way it is. And it's difficult to give a general idea of everything that's going on. But I always try, I do my best. That's why in my videos you see a lot of notes, a lot of little comments, a lot of text, because sometimes there are things I can't say because it would take forever. And you can see that. You can see the text, you can pause the video, read it, and oh, I understand now, oh, I get it. I could say something, but there could be an exception that I couldn't mention, and I had to write it in text. You see it, oh, that's the exception. Okay, I understand. So it gives you a better idea than just me saying everything is like this. That's why I also got flack from the video I made about Amelia and JP, the reaction. I wasn't trying to say anything negative to them, about them, or about what they were saying. But since their words were so general, so generalized, I had to say it in a more specific sense. I had to give my part to make sure that everyone understood that what they're saying is generalized, but it's not for the places that you might always land on. Like I said in the video, there isn't a bike lane in every city. I noticed in Manta there's a lot of bike lanes, and I loved it. Over here in Puerto Viejo, there aren't a lot of bike lanes. A lot of beach cities, smaller beach cities, don't have bike lanes. People are riding their bikes on the streets. So it's not the same thing in every city, and that doesn't mean that every city is going to be bad or good. That's just going to depend on your personal preference. Some people, like they say in Spanish, se conforman con lo mínimo. They are happy with the most basic thing. That's what that means pretty much. Like, as long as they get the minimum, like that's enough. So they're happy with that, and that's okay. Because if you're okay with just, we have the beach, there's good food, things are cheap, perfect. But some people might be more demanding. They want the bike lanes. They want the rental scooters. They want the very high class forms of entertainment, like maybe bowling or something like laser tag. And Puerto Viejo has none of that. No bowling, no laser tag. We have the beach, which is Crucita, but that's it. In Manta, from what I understand, they do have the bowling alley, and I heard, it might not be confirmed, but I heard they had laser tag. But if it's not Manta, then I'm pretty sure it's Quito. So there's just so many different things in each city, and it's hard to just talk about one and say that this is the general reality for all of Ecuador. But anyways, going back into the stuff that we were talking about, unfortunately, the situation in the country, the situation with politics, I can't say it gets better. I can't say it gets worse. It really depends on who gets into power. Puerto Viejo, recently, the last mayor that we had was an amazing mayor. We had the mayor Casanova, and later today, maybe after this stream, I'll post some of his proposals as they call it, I think, the prefecto. But basically, I don't know how, I don't remember, maybe it's the prefect, but I'm not 100% sure how it's called in English. But this person is pretty much like even higher position than the mayor. So that's the next step. And he wants to make some big changes to Manabí, not just to Puerto Viejo, but to Manabí. He wants to implement a train system, or like train. It kind of looks like a tram, but it's a train that carries people all around Manabí. I'm hoping it carries people all around Ecuador, because that would be amazing. But if it just carries people around Manabí, that would be something that no one has done. And it goes back to the mentality that people have here. And that's why I put here the story time of the things I've seen. People here are so used to getting nothing from their mayors. They're so used to getting nothing from the people in power that when you get something, you're super happy about it. Like, you could get the most minimum thing and be super happy about it. Like, they tell you, we're gonna construct one school with the just imaginary number, with the $1 billion that we have, we're gonna construct one school, and everyone's gonna cheer. Oh my God, we're getting a school, because they're so used to getting nothing. Like, just look at the presidency of Rafael Correa. A lot of people love that presidency. I have a very neutral outlook on presidents, vice presidents, mayors, on everything. Because the only person I currently have respect for is Casanova, because of everything that he did. As a mayor, amazing. I'm hoping that the next thing that he does, he's gonna be amazing as well. But look at Rafael Correa. A lot of people love him because when he got into power, he constructed schools. He constructed hospitals. He made the highways that we have now actual highways, because of course Ecuador had some form of highway system. If they didn't, they couldn't get you from one city to the next. Like, you'd have to always take a plane. But of course Ecuador had a highway system. But the whole highway system, when I got here in Ecuador, that's why it's not just a city. Going into different cities, like leaving your city to go to another one, it was rocks and the dirt road with the rocks in them. That's not a proper highway. And that's what most of Ecuador had before Rafael Correa. So what happened when Rafael Correa constructed the highways, constructed the hospitals, constructed the schools? Everyone considered him a hero. Everyone was like, oh my God, Rafael Correa is the best thing since sliced bread. Like, it was crazy, the support that Rafael Correa had. Especially his first term. His first term, everyone loved him. But then, as time passed, as things progressed, people's opinions changed. They start to see things that aren't exactly 100% great. People started to hear things about Rafael Correa. Like, I want to believe, part of me, I'm mixed. Part of me wants to believe that some of it was rumors. Like, people will say, oh, he did this because obviously if I'm the person running against Correa as president, I have to make sure that I look better than him. And if he's out here being the hero, constructing roads, constructing schools and hospitals, if I don't say some of this is bad, then obviously I'm gonna look bad. I'm not gonna be able to beat him. And I think that's what happened with people. The perception that they had, that's one of the things that happened. Because I do believe that some of the things were also a reality. Because another one of the big rumors that you would hear about Rafael Correa was the fact that he was involved with with drug gangs and with, that is crime. It's pretty much crime. He was involved in the distribution of these things and in permitting these things to exist in the country and to be distributed more easily. And that's why supposedly there was so much money flowing in Ecuador, because he was there. And that's why there was more control over crime, because it's kind of like, you imagine a kind of deal. Like Rafael says, look, you guys can sell your drugs, but don't commit crimes. Don't kill people. Don't do crazy things. If you start doing this, then we're gonna have to be strict about what you're doing. That's what I think is the interpretation. But the reality that people always talk about, the real thing that people just talk about is just, no, Rafael was involved with drugs. No, he made schools, he made hospitals, and he made roads, highways. But once again, talking about an imaginary number, he had $1 billion, and he spent 100 million doing all these things. Where's the other 900 million? Supposing that equals a billion. My math is poor right now. But where's the rest of the money? So that was the problem with Rafael. That was the situation with Rafael. But people loved and respected him, ignoring the fact that he might have stolen some money, because the thought was, it's okay that he stole some money because he did more than the previous president did. He did something over nothing. He stole, yes, but he did something. And that's the mentality that people have when it comes to Rafael Correa. That's why there's a lot of fighting between people who, like, if I love Correa, people would call me, Correísta, and that's like an insult in a way. Because, like, apparently it's wrong to have your belief. I guess that just happens in all forms of politics. In the States, the situation with Joe Biden, Donald Trump, like, if you had your side. If you didn't like Joe Biden and you were on Trump's side, people hated you because you liked Joe Biden. But if you liked Joe Biden and didn't like Trump, then obviously the people who liked Trump hated you because you liked Joe Biden. So, or well, vice versa, whichever one, I'm not sure if I explained that well, but basically if you were on one side, you obviously hated the other. And I don't think there's a need to go into that heavy situation of hate, because it reminds me of what sports teams are to people. I understand the love and passion towards a team. You can love your team, but once you start infringing on other people's love for their team, their rights, if you will, like, it just becomes problematic. Like, a lot of people here, if you like a soccer team, there's two soccer teams that are like the most prevalent, the ones that people talk about the most: Barcelona and Emelec. Yellow and blue because Barcelona yellow, Emelec blue. If you like Barcelona, people from Emelec hate you. If not, like, obviously if you guys were already friends, they don't hate you, but they always troll you, Barcelonista. And vice versa, if you like Emelec, then people from Barcelona hate you. And they'll be like, Barcelonista, or, it always gets thrown around like some kind of like pseudo insult, because it's not even an insult. Like, you can't insult someone for liking a team. Like, you can tell them that, it's silly to be so passionate, but to me it only becomes silly when people start attacking each other. It's really cool when you buy the gear, like, I got the shirt because I love my team. This is my favorite player, I've got his shirt. I bought the brand name shoes because it's really cool, this brand, because I love my team. But if you start saying, your team sucks, that shirt, ugly, those shoes, you guys, your stadium sucks. Like, once you start going into that, it just feels kind of like, I don't know, I want to say childish. And it's funny coming from me because I think a lot of people consider me to be like a big kid. Sometimes even I do. I mean, I have anime, I have my collection, my hobbies, my toys, which is fine. Everyone's allowed to love what they want to love. If you love anime, cool. If you like cartoons, cool. If you like collecting bottle caps, if you like collecting coins, I have coins that I'm kind of collecting. Whatever you love, that's your passion, that's your hobby. And no one should be able to come in and step on that. Unless you're committing a crime, of course. Then come in and step on it all you want. But if you're not committing a crime, it's okay. But when you start attacking someone for the things that they love, that's when it becomes a problem. When it becomes that form, like I said, if you're not on my team, I hate you. What's the point? What do you gain from this hate? When instead of hate, we promote things like love and things like cool things like, oh, we love the team, oh, we support the team, our team is the best. Set a good example in the world. I remember in the World Cup, just came to me right now. In the World Cup, I remember that people here, they were sharing a picture, an image on Facebook. It was a picture taken of the Japanese supporters, the fans, not the team, the fans, of course. The fans who went to watch the Japanese team, once the match was over, they would pick up after their mess. Like, they left a mess, obviously. When people are watching, sometimes they don't realize it. You know, you drop something, oh, I dropped a piece of popcorn, I dropped a bottle, ooh, my bag fell. Like, you just don't notice it, and I understand that. But the Japanese supporters, they would pick up their things after the game was over. And the reason why people here were sharing that was because they were like, no one's ever gonna do this in Ecuador. Like, the culture is not like that. People leave their trash and they just go. Like, oh, you know, whatever, someone will take care of it. And that could be everywhere else in the world too. I'm not saying it's limited to Ecuador. That could be in the States, that could be, who knows, maybe in Canada, I don't know. I'd like to believe I'd like to believe it's not just here, but at the same time, I'd like to believe that it is everywhere because I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm attacking Ecuador. It's not that. It's just, it's the reality that people share on social media, on Facebook. People share that reality. Like, Ecuadorians themselves are like, well, we're never going to be like that because people don't have that mentality. There are still people here that you have to tell them to pick up their trash because they'll go out on the street. They're walking on the street, they have something in their hand, and they throw it on the floor. Like, you can't put it away in your pocket and throw it away in the trash bin like 5 meters later. You have to throw it on the floor. People in their cars throwing pieces of trash, throwing bottles out of the window. It still happens. Like, you would think at this point, it would be common sense to just like hold on to it for a little longer. What does it cost you to hold on to it a little longer and throw it away someplace where it could be thrown away? But that's just the mentality. And like I said, with all of this, the mentality of people is to just accept the bare minimum. You get something and be happy that you got something instead of nothing. And that's how it's just been with presidents, it's been with mayors, it's been with any government position that someone takes. If the police actually do something, people are happy that they did something because they normally do nothing. I actually had a conversation with a friend, an American friend, the other day, talking about something bad that had happened, a really horrible experience, a robbery, not to him, but he saw the news because people have groups to share these things apparently, and I'm not in it because I don't want to hear it. I don't like hearing these bad things, but when they're told to me, then I can share them. But literally, 2 robbers going into a store, robbing the store, threatening them with guns. Scariest experience if you go through it. I can only imagine. It must be horrible. What happens? These guys leave the store and the police just happens to be outside. They didn't get there because they were called there or because they knew they had to go there because, like, you know, an alarm was triggered. They just happened to be there. The robbers freak out. They start shooting. One of the robbers, something happens. He falls. The other robber crashes into a car, and the police, since these guys, you know, just happened to I guess turn themselves in, they caught them. But these guys, due to insufficient evidence, were let free later on. How do you get caught on camera shooting, robbing, and have insufficient evidence to be sent to jail? So people were happy that the police did something. Who wouldn't be happy? Like, the police did something. But they only did something because they were there, and had they not have been there, that crime would have just been like, it happened and well, we can't find them. Too bad. And they did get found. By the way, that's my dog Chief. He's outside barking. They did get found. They were there, and they got taken in, and then they got let loose. And that was something that with my American friend we were like complaining about, because people just, they don't care about going to jail, because jail is like second home. They go to jail, they know that they're gonna be in there for a while, like give it a month, if it's necessary a year, and then they're out. So it's like, what's the point? But anyways, like I said, people are really used to the bare minimum. That's why in the city of Puerto Viejo, we were really happy to have a mayor who promised to build a park. He built the park. He promised to build 2 parks. He built both parks. He promised to fix the downtown area, that since the earthquake had not been fixed, he fixed the downtown area. Now it's looking pretty again. There are some streets that are still in process, but it's almost done. He's been making like changes to the city that no one has seen here. I haven't seen these changes during the whole time I've been here, and now that we had him as mayor, things have changed. So what do I want to get with this? Where do I want to get with this? Well, at least personally in the city, there's a lot of mayors, like a lot of people, the campaigns, and this is what makes it kind of a joke, because I don't know how it works in the States, but people here in the city, like they take different days of the week. I don't know if they get into coordination with the police, but like they drive around in their cars honking loud with their music. They're like playing the drums, and I don't want to sound like the guy who complains, oh, I don't want to listen to the but like, isn't there like another way to like do these campaigns? Like, I don't know how campaigns work then, if that's the way they're always done, but it was just crazy to me. Like, it's always been crazy to me that the campaigns are always the same thing. And just give you more context of how campaigns are. Every time there's a political campaign, let's just assume we have Mayor Pen and we have Mayor Salt Shaker, the candidates for mayor. And what they do is that what most people will do is say, hey, look, Mayor Pen is running for mayor. We should go ask him for something and promise that we'll get this amount of people to vote for him or her. They go, they find a way to get into the whole campaigns. They're either friends from the past or they know them from someplace. They talk to them and I'll give you something. And okay, cool. They give them something for that support. And then that same group of people, sometimes this does happen, the same group of people, they'll go talk to the mayor candidate Salt Shaker and be like, hey, look, we'll get you this amount of people, but give us this. If you give us this, we'll help you out with this amount of people to vote for you. Yeah. And then afterwards, he gives them that thing, and boom. They just made a promise with 2 groups of people, and what's the reality? Like, it was just like a convenience kind of thing. K and M, good afternoon from somewhere in Ecuador. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad you joined. I've been hoping that everyone would say hi at some point. I don't know if I have to ask. Hello, everyone. We started the stream a while back, started with talking about what we were going to talk about in today's stream. And I've just been going on these story rampages, because that's what it feels like right now. A rampage of stories of things that I've seen, and this is just like recently. If you don't mind, I'm going to stand up because I have a real life example to show you of how these campaigns work. But please excuse me being in shorts and me stepping away from the camera. 1 second. Let's see here. No, over here. It's not this one. Okay. So I am back. Don Shader, bro, what's going on? What's up, brother? I am originally from Canada, and politics is so different here than in Canada. See, that's the thing. A lot of people tell me that politics are the same thing, and I'm very confused because I thought it's like there are people who tell me, oh, you just don't understand politics, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't understand politics, but explain it to me. And on the other hand, I just see it, and it's just like it's so different to see politics here in Ecuador from politics in the States. It's great to see you too, Don. I hope you're doing well. I saw the video that you made about the weather, and I also saw a post on Facebook about the chair. I hope you're all right, because every time I've had chairs fall on me, not this one. This one's pretty sturdy, luckily, but I've had chairs break on me, and it's the most painful and scary thing. Goodness. But I hope you're doing well. And I hope things are good. The power is hopefully going well over there and hasn't gone away. Over here, we've had just rain and the power hasn't gone out yet. But I'm expecting it to go out because it just does tend to go out. Let's see, the banners and promoting are more similar to what I have seen in the USA. There are a lot of banners and a lot of people show their support by putting up a banner outside of their house or in their neighborhood. If the majority of the neighborhood agrees, I think, they put up a banner for that. If not, people just promote it on their house. Some people promote it on their cars. And at that point, I kind of feel like when they promote it on their cars, I think they're friends with that person and they just want, hey, look, I was supporting you from the beginning. Bob D. How's it going, Bob? I literally used your name, Bob, as an example for my recent video that I haven't posted it yet, but I'm editing it. And I literally use the name Bob. Bob is like, as a teacher, the two names that I use the most are Bob and Tom. And for girl names, it's always Stacy or Rebecca. I got Kinka from last Sunday from Minnesota. Oh, I hope everything went well in Minnesota. That's where my cousin's at. And Dawn, I'm a little fine. I'm fine, a little sore, but alive. Great. As long as you're alive, there's still so much that you can do. And there's still much that we have to do. We still got to make that video, Don. We got to go and promote Manta. Show the good things. But like I was saying, the example I was giving with Mr. Salt Shaker and Mr. Penn, just to go into a more real situation. We have one of our mayoral candidates. His name is Javier Pincay. And Javier Pincay is he knows the guy who is the owner of our football team. He knows him, so they know each other. And since Javier Pincay is heavily promoting sports as part of his campaign, he visited our football team because the owner of our team, he invited him to check us out. He visited us, and Javier Pincay, the mayoral candidate, he promised us shirts, just shirts for the team. And we were like, okay, we'll take it. And this man, Javier Pincay, the first time they brought us the shirts, because it was 2 times, they brought us some shirts, and they were some of the poorest quality shirts that I have ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not even just saying this like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, Ace. The clothes must be great. The clothes literally still had burn marks from glue. One of the numbers of one of our friends' shirts was reverse. The name wasn't even what it was supposed to be. It had a soccer team logo, not even our official logo. And like maybe you might say, why are you complaining if it's free? I'm not complaining because it was free. I'm complaining because they promised us something, and something specific, because we even gave them a model of our previous uniform, and they said, we're gonna give you something exactly like this. And they were gonna give us like a normal soccer jersey, and we were like, what is this? Yemi, hello, how's it going? Good afternoon. And to continue with the story, so they were like, oh no, sorry, look, we didn't mean to give you this. We're gonna go see what happened. This is a disgrace. They went back to go see what was up. And like a few weeks later, they brought us this. This is actually a shirt that looks like our actual team shirt. A decent looking shirt. Like I was very surprised when, because the first shirt that they brought us, like I said, was absolutely just awful. Like I don't even know what that was. But they brought us this, and of course, anything that comes free from a political campaign has, you know, the promotion of the people who are promoting it. So the shirt with the name, which I don't mind because it was a nice shirt. If it would have been the other shirt, I would have been very upset because, like, it's kind of like if you were to make a deal with someone, and I didn't make a deal with him because I don't, like I said, I don't really trust the political campaigns here. But like, if you make a deal with someone and you promise gold for gold, you can't expect to get gold if you gave bronze. Like, the exchange is not the same. So why would I, if you gave me something less than what you promised, why would I give you what I promised? It's not fair. So either way, I was never into this. I didn't make the deal. I didn't promise anything. I would vote for Javier Pincay if I knew who he was and if I knew he was a good mayoral election, a mayoral option. But in my opinion, I'm really not sure who the best option is, except for Byron Josa. Byron Josa, I don't know how you would pronounce his last name. I think it's Josa. And he is the direct line from the current mayor, well, who was the current mayor, Agustin Casanova. He's the direct line. So why wouldn't I want to vote for him? Because Casanova did stuff. Byron has been working under Casanova. What do I have to expect from Byron? That he's gonna do stuff just like Casanova, if not better. That's my hope. That's what I want. I can't say that that's the reality, because people will promise things and not come through with them. We go back to the situation with Rafael Correa. Rafael Correa, when he finished his term, when he could no longer be elected as president, what happened? The next person in line was Lenin Moreno. Lenin Moreno was of his same political campaign. Best friends with Rafael Correa. From what everyone could see, they were like besties. Like, oh, this guy's gonna take over for me and he's gonna do everything right. What happened when Lenin Moreno won the elections? He went in and he completely turned on Rafael Correa. Like, he started doing things differently from what Rafael Correa had assumingly instructed him to do. And it was amazing, because amazing in a bad way, because like I can only imagine the reaction. Like, could you imagine just being backstabbed by the person you just gave all your power to? Like, imagine having the power of presidency. You give it to someone, you're like, oh, this guy's gonna do exactly what I tell him to, and he does all the things that you don't tell him to, and you're like, Pikachu face, like, what happened? And it's like, it was amazing. It was just so crazy to see how that worked out, because it also, I think that also set more precedents for like the whole situation with the drugs and stuff like that. Because as soon as Lenin went into power, there was a big crackdown on drugs in Ecuador, like really big crackdown. And there was a lot of drugs that were being discovered in different parts of the country, and it just a lot of problems in general. But that was what happened. So it's not always guaranteed that the next person to come into power is going to be a good election. Like, even the current president that we have now, we have Lasso, and the problem with Lasso was the fact that you were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because the alternative, I don't remember his name, Lasso, everyone knew that there was a big problem because he's very much a businessman. So he looks out more for the higher class of people, like people with money already. So he looks out for that group of people. And that's what everyone was worried about. You want to give the country to a banker because he's a banker. And people were going crazy. But the alternative was the guy who wanted to get rid of the dollar in Ecuador. Could you imagine how the situation would have been in Ecuador had we have gotten rid of the dollar. Like, the situation's already pretty bad sometimes for Ecuadorians, of course, because things just keep getting more expensive. Could you imagine if we had to switch to a whole different currency? Like, the transitional phase would have probably bankrupt so many people. It would have been a very, very, like, I can just kind of see what it was like in the worst possible sense. There could have been a positive light to it. Like, maybe after a year, after 4 years, things would have gotten better. But looking at the immediate future, the moment that would have changed, so many people would have been in big trouble. Other people might have been in less trouble because maybe they had debts in dollar, and then afterwards, if it changes to something else like Ecuadorian peso or something, like, they would have been better off. Who knows? It's something. It's a future that in an alternate timeline we would have gone through and we would have seen what would have happened. But in this timeline, we have Lasso, who is letting. I mean, I know it's not. I don't think it's all Lasso's fault, but crime is rampant. The situation in the country isn't as good as he's painting it out to be. There's a lot of things that are happening, and it's hard to just blame one person. I think the way that the country, the way that the government, the way that things are structured, that's what causes these problems. And unfortunately, to change it, you'd have to change so many things. So it's gonna be time. Okay, KNM. Where I live in Ecuador, I have been told that some of the candidates are being paid $20 a day to drive around on their motorcycles flying their flags. You said it, not me. A lot of people think I'm crazy. A lot of people think that if I talk about this, if I say it, I'm pretty sure people are gonna say, no, you don't know what you're talking about, Ace. But that's the reality. It's not that the candidates themselves, the candidates pay people to support them. Like, people get their jobs from the candidates. So, yeah, cool. I had a feeling that's what you meant, but just clarifying, just in case. But there are people, and I've heard it because my friends tell me about that all the time, that, oh, I was offered this to do this. And there's even a friend of mine that she was like, oh, if I help this guy, he might be able to get me a good job. Like, do you know who he is? She's like, oh, no, I don't know him, but, like, I'll support him if he gets me a job. And I'm like, if that's what helps you, because I just want her to be in a good position, because I want all my friends to be okay. I want everyone to be in a good position, of course. Like, I wish the world didn't have to go through so many problems and everyone was in a position where they could say, we live in peace. But I know the reality is it's impossible to just make that happen. It's a process. If you want change to happen, you have to do it. You have to make the change. You have to become the change that you want to happen. So I'm always trying to do my part. But anyways, that's what happened, the real situation with my friend. And yeah, people are offered money to go around, to be on, like, even if you're not offered money, if you were in the campaign of the guy who won, like, you were there, you were, oh, I was playing my guitar, oh, I was like banging the drums, you saw me, I was in the street waving the flag, look, I'm in the picture of us when we took a picture promoting your campaign. Like, if people see that, like, if they know that, those people are more likely to be supported by the new mayor. So that's why people help. They don't always help just because I believe in your campaign. Some people just help because they want the benefits that come with it. And I don't know if that's the way it is everywhere else in the world, but I feel like if that's the way politics are, then politics really are more corrupt than even what I thought. Because the world shouldn't have to run on, if I do something for you, you'll do something for me. Of course, my job as the mayor is to make life better for everyone. But not just for me to focus on making my life better for you. I'm making your life better, but not because I'm just like giving you money or I'm paying you to do it. But because as my campaign, I'm going to make the city a better place. As a president, I'm gonna make the country a better place. Not just your individual life, just because I saw you supporting me. But anyways, yeah, that's a real situation. Do you know if earthquakes occur in cities like Lojan Villa in Vilcabamba as much as frequently as it does Manta? I'm considering Ecuador, especially Vilcabamba, for retirement. I can't say that I know that they do, but in that same sense, I can't say that they don't. They're not, earthquakes aren't as frequent as I think some people paint them out to be. There are these little quakes, they call them remison, something like that. It's just like small quakes that you'll feel. Like, for example, I could be sitting here right now and boom, the floor shook for like 5 seconds. Scary, yes, but that's not an earthquake. Those do happen with more frequency than actual full-blown earthquakes. So in cities in Ecuador in general, you don't have to completely like kill yourself worrying about that happening. I do recommend that if you go to a city, any city, make sure to ask if the construction of the place that you're gonna live in was done with earthquakes in mind. So that way, if you know that the place was built strong and sturdy, you don't have to worry about an earthquake doing something to you. And you always obviously have to be very prepared if in case one does happen, because it's like I said earlier in this live stream, I can tell you that today there's no earthquakes. You come tomorrow to Ecuador and boom, the biggest earthquake in Puerto Viejo hits. And then you're gonna tell me, but Ace, didn't you say there's no earthquakes in Puerto Viejo? Yeah, there was no earthquake today, but tomorrow was just it went crazy. Things happen. So yeah, I wouldn't completely worry about earthquakes, but don't completely eliminate them off your radar. K&M, to add to that, most are giving promises that seem, yeah, that's just the way political campaigns are. They promise things that they can't always fulfill. And it's kind of like, why do you promise something that you're not gonna come through on? But that's just the hope that people have. Like if I help, like imagine if I help, and my current situation is I have a minimum wage job, one job, minimum wage. I'm suffering, and this guy promises me a job where I can earn $2,000. Hey, I'm a try, because $2,000 is much more than minimum wage. It's 4 times more. So yeah, let's go. What do I gotta do? Whose boot do I gotta lick? Like, I'm not saying that I would do it, but that's the mentality. Because I prefer to like win things through my own merit. If I do good things will happen. Even though that's not always the reality, but you know, we try. And Yemi, you're welcome. I hope that question helps a bit, but like I said, not a big deal of earthquakes. And yeah, the promises are crazy. Eric Blair, 74, live in Toronto, and I'm thinking of relocating to Ecuador. My daughter's boyfriend has relatives in Ecuador, and that's why I'm focused on Ecuador. But I do have a fear for my safety. Okay, Eric, and everyone who is here in this live stream, before we talk about a little bit about Guayaquil, because I have some notes about Guayaquil, the election over there, because it's mayoral campaigns for the country, but safety. In the video that I'm releasing hopefully tomorrow or Monday, talking about the situation with Vera de Ucrania, I'm gonna write her name here, Vera de Ucrania, and you guys can check out her channel later or whenever you can. Her videos are in Spanish, unfortunately, but she recently made a video talking about the situation she went through. She basically got robbed, but it was a terrible form of robbery. But in that video, I talked about 6 different takeaways. And unfortunately, no wait, not unfortunately, because I have them here. Spoiler, you're gonna get my takeaways right now, because I have them here. Hopefully you still watch my video, please, because I worked really hard on it. But I'm gonna give you some of the takeaways. Not all of them, just some. So first of all, one of the things that you have to know about, and I think this is true for everywhere in the world, is that Ecuador is going through a lot of problems. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to say, oh, Ecuador is perfectly fine. But not everywhere in Ecuador is dangerous. If you talk about Ecuador as a whole, think about Ecuador. Just think of this circle as Ecuador. This circle is Ecuador. About this percentage of the circle is dangerous. That's not realistic, by the way. Just imagine it, though. That means that this half over here is not dangerous. Is Ecuador dangerous? No, because not all of Ecuador is dangerous. It's not 100% Ecuador is dangerous. Depending on where you go and the preparations you take, you will definitely be able to avoid dangerous situations. If you go to a city like Loja, a city like Cuenca, if you go to like Galapagos, like places like that, you would probably almost never have to worry about danger. Of course, Cuenca, I remember Don Shader's story about what happened to him in Cuenca, so there is a possibility in Cuenca things could happen. But if you're careful, if you're cautious, you avoid the streets that everyone tells you to avoid. And that's another one of the important facts, and I think the last one I'll mention here. Always ask someone, preferably a local. You can ask me too as well, obviously, because I'm currently a local. But ask someone what the situation is in the place that you're planning to go to. Because, and at the moment that you're planning to go there. Because if you ask me, if you ask anyone in Ecuador about the country about 6 years back, they're gonna tell you, wow, Ecuador was so safe. It was great, things were great, no one was dying in Guayaquil, everything was perfect. But if you ask them now, in Guayaquil, people are dying constantly. Here in Puerto Viejo, and I don't know if this was Puerto Viejo, this was, yeah. This is the news, like the newspaper, and this is what you see on the news. Like, why is this on the news? Like why are we trying to scare people? So specific places will have danger, and I can tell you what's going on here. If you come to Puerto Viejo, I can tell you where it's safe, where it's dangerous, what to watch out for. But I can't specify something like, for example, Loja. Everyone tells me Loja is super safe, and I believe that because I've seen the pictures and it looks great. But how can I be the one to tell you about Loja if I'm not living in Loja? I do plan on going to Loja, of course. Same thing with Cuenca. I've already visited Quito in my life. Guayaquil, I spent plenty of time there. But definitely, you know, there are places and times where things are going to be different than others. So Eric, trust me, you don't have to live in fear. My advice is not live in fear. My advice is come prepared. Do your research. Ask the people who know about the situation, and you'll be all right. Kenny, what's going on, man? How are you? I wave over there because I have the computer monitor here, and this is where I can respond through chat. And over here I have the screen for the live screen for my recording. But anyways, that's the situation, Eric. You, obviously, if you know you're somewhere you're not supposed to be, if you're the kind of person who likes to go traveling around the city everywhere into every nook and cranny, then maybe, you know, you're running a risk. But if you're just going to visit, or you're going to live and you know you're gonna live peacefully in a place that you know is peaceful, you have nothing to worry about. Unless Ecuador goes crazy tomorrow and everything lights up in flames, then yeah, that's something that one would say is unexpected, not something that you would think that would happen constantly. But if that were to happen, then I would tell you, you know, be careful. Let me continue answering the stuff that I read here. Don Shader, I enjoy your streams, especially your straight shooter, no advice approach. Thank you for sharing your experience as it gives balanced perspective. Don Shader gives no BS advice. Well, not advice. He always talks about things without sugarcoating it. He tells you things as it is. That's why Don Shader is a cool guy. I hope you're good, brother, if you're still here. K&M, love your advice. We did not know we had a red zone until we had to restrain someone that tried to pickpocket my husband. I caught her and she went in for the wallet. I mean, it's just so crazy that you sometimes this also happens where you go to a city and you don't expect anything bad to happen because you spend like a week there and everything is like fine, and then after a week you might let your guard down and something happens, you're like, I didn't expect that. It's just things that happen. And that was another one of my tips, and I said I wasn't going to give more of the tips from the video that I'm going to post tomorrow or Monday, but I'm going to say it anyways. um, Not all Ecuadorians are bad. I think that's pretty obvious. I think Ecuadorians are super nice people, the nicest people. Latin Americans in general, because when I was in the States, I had a friend from Peru. He came super late in my life, like, I guess you could call him more of an acquaintance. But when I met him, like most people, when you meet them in the States, sometimes they'll be kind of like, they'll keep their distance. They'll be there, but they'll keep a little bit of distance. But this guy came, he was super friendly, super nice. He couldn't speak a lot of English, but super friendly, super kind. And it's just, people aren't all bad from the place that they're originally from. In Ecuador, everyone's not a criminal. You don't have to be afraid of Ecuadorians. What you have to be afraid of are certain zones and certain people. And there's ways to identify them. People here always say that. I'm not like, oh, judge a person judge a book by its cover. No, that's not my motto. But people here, they sure as heck do judge people by the way they look. If they're wearing a specific kind of hat, a specific kind of shirt, too baggy, if they ride a motorcycle with sandals, if they have a lot of tattoos, which is silly because everyone here has tattoos, except me. But a lot of things just identify someone in people's minds as a criminal. So it's something that people have just gotten so used to getting to know. Also the way that they walk and stuff, the way that they talk. So there's factors, but people have that in mind. But not everyone's gonna be bad. And Kenny, I'm fine. Cool. I'm glad that you're good. So now, drink some water. And let's move on to some of the things that I wanted to talk about. Not exactly specific topics, but I actually, since my dad couldn't join me on the stream, because my intention was to tell my dad to join me and just talk a little bit about what the situation was, give his thoughts as well, because he analyzes these things in much more detail than I do. But he couldn't because he had to rest before going to work. He's probably gonna go downstairs to the business in a bit to go into his food business. And I also was asked my friend Daniel, but he couldn't, and he's probably gonna join me in a podcast soon, so be ready for that. But I decided to ask my aunt, because my aunt is currently visiting here from Guayaquil. And not only did I ask my aunt, but I also remembered something that I saw online. If you noticed the title and the thumbnail, the picture for my live stream, I thought I scratched my watch. The picture from my live stream, I used the picture, the image of the mayor from Guayaquil. This isn't an image that I just went and completely created. This is an image of the mayor. She made this little video or something promoting the fact that she was going to be in a live stream in a game. And if I remember correctly, the game was either Grand Theft Auto, or it was apparently not a friendly game. But she was in this game, and I was told this by a friend, and I really couldn't believe it, because it was okay, I said earlier, as an adult, you're allowed to love the things that you love. I have my games, my toys, my stuff, my collection, my hobbies corner. My anime love is very clear. Brian, my dog, my stuffed animals over there. I have a Spider-Man suit. I I mean, you're allowed to love what you like to love. I mean, I love video games too. But I thought, and I have a mixed thought about this, because I thought that it was crazy that you have a city that is in so much danger, that people are like screaming every day how dangerous it is, and you decide to use the image, because that image is like a Grand Theft Auto image. And I think the server that she joined was a Grand Theft Auto server that was made to represent Guayaquil. I'm not even making this up. It said Guayaquil with a K, not with a Q. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like you're the mayor. You know what the situation is in your city, and you're making a joke out of it. She got hit hard online. Like literally, I kept this open so I could tell you guys. Oh wait, it moved because it refreshed. But I kept this open, and the comments, who's gonna vote for this robber? She's crazy or what? Ya está perdida. She's already lost, in the sense that it's over. Like there's nothing that she can do. The position that Nebot, which was the previous mayor, left her, does not fit her at all. Let's see here. What better way to say that you're a criminal or a delinquent than this? The clown of Guayaquil, referring to her, and another person, more detailed. Guayaquil without work, without safety, without construction. Things being built. And here we have this clown playing with the citizens. She wastes the taxpayers' money, and she thinks that bribing the people with tablets and parties, they're gonna re-elect her. Are you sure you want to keep going through this path? Don't vote for this shameless person. A comment. That's not me saying it. These are comments on the post that I saw about that whole her going into this server. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Like I don't get it. I feel like she wanted to reach the kids. I feel like she wanted to get the younger generation of voters on her side, but she did it in the worst possible way. Like literally. Like I understand having a hobby. If she loves video games, okay, I support that. But you're an important person, and you have to first you have to show your seriousness before you can show the side of you that like the other side of you. Like, it's okay to love video games. It's okay for you to be a playful and happy person. But like, your city is in danger. What are you doing? Why are you here playing a game that talks about robbing people, trying to get like people on your side through this method? It is crazy. It is crazy. And I'm gonna tell you what my aunt's thoughts on the current election, like in Guayaquil, is, because I already told you here in Puerto Viejo, and I'm still missing one more thing that's you're gonna be like, wow, but after. Let me read the comments. Exactly, she was known to all the locals, but we did not know. She had a history, and we had lived in this city for over a year. It happens. Sometimes you think you know people, you think you know the situation, and look, you were there a year. And even with a year, you found out something that like people knew all their lives. A lot of people come to Ecuador, and I remember I once got a lot of flack for that. I made a comment on a post in this group on Facebook about Ecuador, and I said Guayaquil is a little dangerous right now because people were literally calling it Guayaquil. And I made a comment saying, when you're in Guayaquil, you should have your book bag in front of you. Or you should make sure, you're careful, maybe put a lock on it so that no one steals it. Because if you have it behind you and you happen to walk through a crowd, someone in the crowd can stick their hand in the book bag and take out your stuff. So my suggestion was just, be careful. Trying to give advice. I was trying to give advice. And the people in the group on Facebook, everyone was like, no, you're crazy. Guayaquil isn't dangerous. Take that back. How dare you? I was like, I'm not saying this because I'm like, I like, you know, just flaming a city. My friends who live in Guayaquil were like, I can't go out on the street because I'm scared. I can't go to a restaurant because people are getting killed in restaurants. I'm not saying this because, oh, I want you to be afraid of Guayaquil. I'm not fear-mongering. I'm giving you advice so that you can be safe if you come here. But people just attack me for it. So it's like, that's why I find it hard sometimes to talk about these things, because not everyone listens to these things. You can be as helpful as you want, but there's always going to be a group of people who just, they don't accept the help, or they think that you're out for something else. Wasn't anything I could do about it, but it's also not something that I'm like, at this point, it doesn't matter. I haven't completely gotten over it because I don't forget it, but I'm also not gonna like completely stick on it the whole rest of my life. I just will remember that if I give advice, I'm gonna have to give it in a way that's more suitable for the people who actually want to listen to me. Here on YouTube, maybe somewhere else, and I'll try to help. I'll try to help because I don't mind helping. I just find it kind of sad and frustrating that because you try to help, people attack you for it. So, yeah. We have JR. Hello, JR. Hola, GM. Looks like I'm not the only Ecuadorian, Torontonian, Torontonian that is thinking about going to Ecuador. You're probably not, and I do recommend you come. I'm not here to tell people don't come to Ecuador. Please, come to Ecuador. You're gonna love Ecuador. Just always take the necessary precautions. Maybe before you come to live forever, like if your intention is to live here forever, and this also goes for Eric, JR and Eric, if you plan on coming to Ecuador, maybe take, to live in Ecuador, maybe take a little bit of a vacation in Ecuador. Spend a week here, get to know the area that you want to live around, see what it's like. If you think it's cool for you, then stay forever. But if you see it and you're like, nah, this isn't for me, then, you know, there's other choices, other options. Or maybe you could check out a different city, because there's always options. There's no need to just rule out Ecuador because one city wasn't to your liking. There's a lot of cities. And like I said, don't let any of this deter you. Like, oh, there's bad things, but there's good things too. There's amazing things in Ecuador. So much beauty to really take in that it's hard for me to just like express it all. K&M, wow. I guess that's to what I was saying about the situation with the mayor. Crazy to be honest. Again, K&M, come. It is beautiful. The majority of people are wonderful. Agreed. The food is great. Amazing. And especially the soups. And honestly, it is better than Toronto. I want to visit Toronto. Hello, Henry. How's it going, Henry? Good afternoon. Hello, Kim. Hola. You definitely want to come to Ecuador. If you want it, like the food, I'm always like telling people, like, you gotta try the food. The caldo de gallina criolla. I always talk about only encebollado and ceviche. Those are cool soup-based dishes, but leaving that aside, caldo de gallina criolla, viche, so good. There's also, if we're not talking about soup, there's hornado. There's a whole bunch of just Ecuadorian dishes that are like amazing, and especially in the coast. A lot of people, I think they end up in the highlands because that's like the safest place. But if you want to have like the complete experience of food, come on down to the coast. Try the encebollados, bolón, pan de almidón, tonga, viche. So many good things. If you have not tried these dishes, definitely give them a try. If you haven't seen the video where me and my friends from Switzerland, we rank food from the coast, you definitely have to check it out. My friends Anna and Joanna, they helped me rank the food. The food was spectacular. I really wish that list would have been a 20 food long list, but the logistics, we didn't have the money, we didn't have the time. It was by the time we finished recording that video, like we started at around like 2 p.m. and we finished at almost like 11. So just imagine how long that video took to record. And definitely something that if we had more time, more days, more money, because we had to pay for the food. Like one place, because I knew the owner, helped me out a bit. But other than that, it was kind of like money. So, but definitely the food from the coast, you gotta try it. Let's see. What's up with your Spider-Man outfit? That outfit was something I bought for when the Spider-Man movie came out. It was just kind of like a luxury I gave to myself. Like, one of those things that you say, I want it because I've always wanted it. And aside from the Spider-Man outfit, I also have the Spider-Man mask. And I even used this mask and that outfit. And there's a video on Facebook that went viral. It's not my video. It's a video by this company. And we can talk about that later because they kind of ripped me off. But we'll talk about that soon, maybe. But we made a video, it went viral. I even made a little video here on my channel talking about how I went viral, explaining it, what happened. I made that video like a year or two ago almost. But yeah, I have that outfit. I use it now, like this year. I used it for my Halloween event because every Halloween, at least for 2 years so far, I go out and I go to the park and I give away candy. I buy a whole bunch of candy and I give it away to kids in the park because I want them to experience something similar to Halloween. Hello. I don't know what happened, but it disconnected. Are we good? Let me know if we're good because that was weird. But like I was saying about the Spider-Man outfit and the Halloween event, I give out candy during Halloween. And there's a lot of kids who love it because they never experienced an actual Halloween. But there are some people who, they're okay with it. There were this year, since I did like an activity, like I went to the park, but I didn't just give away candy. I also did like games, red light, green light. We played catch the football. I made the kids speak in English because they say that Ecuador has a very low English level. So I wanted to kind of make the kids feel incentivized to speak English. So that way they feel like there's a reason for them to speak English. Because a lot of kids, and we talked about this with Don Shader, but there's a lot of kids that don't feel motivated to speak English because they think they're never going to use it. And I wanted to kind of promote English a little bit like that. So yeah, that's the story behind my Spider-Man outfit. I actually wanted to one on the same day of Halloween, but it was just too much things to do. I wanted to go to Solca. It's the hospital that treats cancer patients. And I wanted to dress up as Spider-Man and visit them as Spider-Man and maybe give them a toy or candy and, motivate, to make their day a little bit happier. But time did not help me out that day. Someone else wanted me to visit, and it was just impossible. But yeah, that's the story. Kim, I'm planning to visit Cuenca in December. Please come. I'm gonna probably be in Cuenca in February. I'm trying to. That was also another thing I wanted to talk about, my plans. I'm planning on going to Cuenca in February, sometime this month, but I need to see if my friend who told me I could stay over there, like if I can still go. If I can't, then it might have to wait until March or after, who knows. But yeah, Cuenca, in Toronto as well. You guys have to tell me about Toronto. I've always wanted to go to Canada because it's one of the bases for Assassin's Creed, and that's a game that I really like. There's also some, like, I have the boxes for some of the games over there that I've collected as the years gone by. But it's one of my favorites, and apparently one of the bases for that game is over there. Ubisoft Toronto, I think it was. But yeah, anyways. K&M, we just came with a list of cities we were interested in and loaded our shipping container. Here we are, and no regrets. Well done. I really hope that the process, everything went smoothly, because I remember when we came from the States, we also brought everything in containers, but some of the containers took some time to arrive. There was like some paperwork that needed to be signed to get them out, and it was a process, and it was expensive too. I don't know if it's become cheaper. I don't know what everyone's process has been, but I just hope it went really smoothly for you. Ornado, it's really good. Jay Jansen, how's it going, Jay? Hello from Arkansas. What's for dinner? Today, dinner is this water. No, I'm kidding. As soon as I finish the live stream, I'll probably go eat. Today, we have fajitas. They are like, what do you call that? They're like I want to say it's a Mexican style dish, but it's like the wrap. It's like a wrap that you and you can eat it like with chicken and meat, and my dad also put shrimp in it. Today my dad cooked, because normally I make my meals and it's just either chicken or meat and a salad, but today is a little bit different. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna eat later. Maybe I'm gonna eat roscas. Yesterday I did a test. I tried to empty out my body of water. I didn't drink like water most of the day. But it's because I'm trying to do this test with my body to kind of like get more cut, because I have this goal this year that I want to look like the Wolverine, like Hugh Jackman when he did the movie The Wolverine. So that's just a goal that I have. I don't know how difficult it's gonna be, but I'm gonna go through a process to see if I can do it. I always record my results on Instagram, so I'm trying to do that, but it's really fun. We are good. I'm glad. Yemi, you're doing a great job. You are sharing your experience, the good, the bad, and ugly. Don't worry about online trolls. There's lots more reasonable folks like my good self listening. Yemi, thank you so much. I'm really glad that my information in some way helps or is enjoyable to listen to, because that's all we're looking for. Like as creators, me and Don talked about this. We want to help. And the only way we can help, I mean, I can't go where you are and like, hey, this is what you have to do. But I can show you what's worked for me, the life that I've lived, so that way you can come prepared and not feel like when you get here, like, oh my God, why did no one tell me about this? Like, that's always my concern. Someone is gonna come and they're gonna be like, why didn't I know about this? And like, it makes me feel really bad, because I don't know if I can give all the information that you need. And that's why I always ask questions like, hey, if you want to know something, let me know. Is there something that you want to know about? Like, just let me know, because I take notes, sometimes in this notebook, sometimes in my phone, and then I start making videos based on what you guys ask. And that's my process. That's what I want to do, because I want to make sure everyone is prepared. Solca would have been a great place to go with the outfit. Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to do that this year. I was also hoping that this year maybe I could get an actual Wolverine outfit and go as the Wolverine, but I think people respect, or not respect, they love Spider-Man more. So I already have a Spider-Man outfit, so maybe when the movie comes out, I'll go dressed up as Spider-Man to go tell the kids, hey, you know, I'm here to support you. Spider-Man's got your back. And I don't know if you would agree, everyone who's here in the chat. I have a lot of different plans for my channel. One of the plans that I have is to go to a different city and like make a video just recording in that city. But in order to do that, I need to go with at least one other person, and I need to stay at least more than just the day that I get there. So that's why in my Buy Me a Coffee page, which is my other page where you can support me, like I've been saving up. I haven't touched that money at all, but people who have donated to me, everyone who in the audience has donated to me, I've been saving up the money so that when it's enough, I can go to the other city and I can make a video about that city. Alternatively, I did want to make, I also wanted to like, maybe for December, for Christmas, I was also thinking, this December I was actually waiting because my friend who joined me in the Halloween event, we were supposed to give out toys, but he never told me, so I wonder what happened. I need to ask him again, because I did ask him and he never really told me. But I've been making these plans to make different videos of like going to different cities, showing off more things, but it's all going to depend on what I have and when I have time available. Because every day that I'm not in this city, I can't work as a teacher because that's my job. And unfortunately, if I don't work, I can't make money. So it's like, it's a process. You have to go to Niagara Falls and bring your wallet. I definitely do. I really, really, really want to go one day to Canada. Like, I have a list of places I want to go to. One of the main places is Japan. I want to visit my friends in Switzerland, my friend in Germany. I have 2 friends in Germany, actually. I want to go to Canada. My friends in the United States, I've missed them for all this time that I've been here in Ecuador. And just so many places to visit. But logistically, it just doesn't make sense. But if I could get to these other places, obviously I would also make content so that I can make more comparisons. Because it's easier to compare, like, if you live in Canada and if I were in Canada, I can actually give a comparison, like, oh, this and this. But since I've only been in the States and in Ecuador, my comparison is with that. That's why with my friends from Switzerland, they gave me their experience as exchange students because they have such a different life in Switzerland. And when they tried the food, they loved one food more than others. And it was funny because one of the foods was ranked lower than I would have expected as someone who's lived here for so long. And most Ecuadorians would probably be like, what? But it was just surprising. But that just goes to show that the tastes of people from different parts of the world are different. But yeah, please come to Canada, huge, beautiful country, and people say we're polite. I've heard that a lot. Honestly, I just want to go because it's beautiful. I don't know a lot of people from Canada, so like I don't know who I would be able to communicate with, but it would be great getting to know Canada, Niagara Falls, and just like seeing the snow. Like if I have to see snow, either, I mean, it could be in the States, but I wouldn't mind seeing it in Canada either. But yeah, Jan, hello Jan, how's it going? Love the video with you and Don. How about doing a cooking video with Don Shader? Don once did it and it turned out well. You both can make ceviche. If we get the ingredients for ceviche, we can try and see how good it comes out for us. Because the thing that I don't understand is how a lot of people, Ecuadorians, like, there's like some kind of like secret that they have to make their food because it always comes out so much better. Like, I've tried to imitate recipes online for different foods, not specifically Ecuadorian food, but different foods. And it never comes out the same. At least I don't think so, because it never tastes like the way that I expect it to taste. Unless that's just how it was supposed to taste. Tober Mori, you can snorkel old schooners. From Alberta, you can visit Dinosaur Park. That's a lot of different things. I need an explanation of that because I didn't understand it. K&M, what is Tobermory, Drumeller, Alberta? I need information. Yemi, unfortunately our city and region really rely on the tourism income. There are ways to get deals to make it more affordable, and there are many things to do in TO, but you cannot close off out other parts of Canada. I'm guessing that's the situation in Toronto, but I didn't know it was so tourism centered, so tourism focused. I've always wanted to visit. It's just, like I said before, logistically it doesn't help right now, the situation I'm in. I'm hoping one day things change. I'm always trying to make things better. Similar to what my uncle said once, if I can make things better here for me, like if I can have a better situation, I can make things better for everyone. I want to take my parents to Galapagos. I want them to visit more, like to explore the country and just have fun, because my dad is constantly working. My mom, she lost her job a long time ago, and now she does like, she can do nails and hair. She has an actual degree for that, but she's been without a job for a long time. So I've always wanted to give them like a better life. But it's a lot easier said than done, because your efforts aren't always rewarded as you would want them to. Like, you can do a lot of things, but doing a lot of things doesn't always guarantee the best results. So it's a process, but I know that good things take time, and things will be better soon. soon, one day, be realistic about it. Something I wanted to talk about, which I kind of went a little bit off topic, was what my aunt had to say about the situation with Guayaquil, the election of mayors. My aunt, when I asked her who she thinks would be the best choice for the candidate for Guayaquil, she said that no. Honestly, there's no faith in the people who are running for the elections in Guayaquil. Over here, the faith is mainly for me in Byron, because like I said, he's a direct line of Mr. Casanova. So I have faith that he'll continue doing the good work of Mr. Casanova. I hope. I could be wrong, but I hope. She also said that none of the candidates have given a believable plan. The current mayor hasn't fulfilled the promises that she made. And like I said, she's going around campaigning in a video game, so I don't know how reliable she can be. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, she just didn't do it at the right time, and it's not the right game either, because a game where you kill people and rob people is not the game that you want to go into to give a message in a city where people are killing and robbing. And my aunt also said that the last mayor that Guayaquil had left the city in a great position. Like if the next person who took the mayorship didn't do a good job, it wasn't because the last mayor did a bad job. It was because the current mayor did not do what they were supposed to do. And that's what happened with this mayor. And like I said, this whole situation of her trying to win the kids, I'm guessing, with the video game, just doesn't seem like the best plan. It could be a good plan. It could have been a good plan in a different part of the world, because that's beloved by a lot of people. Someone who's relatable, someone who likes to do things that aren't just official work. But using the taxpayers' money for something like that, using the time that you should be using to fix the city, money that you should be using to fix the city, it's not the best way. Not right now, anyways. But that was what she decided to do. Going on, what I did want to talk about also was the one of the candidates here, the same one that I mentioned, who gave us this shirt. See, and this is what I was saying also about the dangers and some of the things here. But the mayor candidate, Mr. Javier Pincay, I don't know what these mayors promise to certain groups of people. I don't know the inner dealings of the mayors. Like, I don't know who they talk to. I don't know what they do. I wouldn't know, because that's not my world. But the mayor candidate, Javier Pincay, like a few months ago, while he was running his campaign, he was shot. Like, and I'm not just saying like, oh, random robber threw a bullet out there and hit him by accident. He got shot like 8 times. I'm surprised and happy he's alive, because goodness, who wants to get shot like that? But it gives a bad precedent. Like, it gives a bad idea of what's going on in the political campaigns if people are trying to take you down like that, you know? I don't know what happened. I don't know why that happened. I just know that it doesn't give you the best idea for him as a candidate. Like, what did you promise? Or who hates you that much that they need to shoot you like that? And why isn't this person who shot you in jail? Or why aren't the people who shot you caught? Like, so many things to talk about there. But it gives me a bad feeling. Let me read the comments here. Niagara Falls is about 1 hour 30 minutes. Drive away from Toronto, same province, different cities. Okay, cool. I need to go. K&M, it would be hard to explain on YouTube. I will find a better way to message you. Cool. I do have an email, a business email that is on my about section of my YouTube channel, GMAceMB, where you can email me questions. You can email me suggestions. If you want to indirectly, not you, but if someone wants to give me some criticism, sure, I'll read it. If there's anything you'd like to talk about and maybe I can help, I'll try. I can't guarantee, it's a business email, so I can't guarantee I'll be able to do everything, but I will try my best to help because that's what I'm here to do. Always try to help and make things easier and better for everyone. Henry, are you going for the Chiefs or Eagles for the Super Bowl? I want the Chiefs. Honestly, I've always been more of a person that I don't follow the Super Bowl unless my team is in it. And my team is the Falcons. I had a hat, but I don't have it anymore. But my team is the Falcons, and I really, really, really want to see the Falcons in the Super Bowl one day. But when my team isn't in the Super Bowl, I just kind of like, meh, I kind of just die. I don't watch a lot of football anymore because it makes me, the feeling isn't the same over here in Ecuador for me. My brother loves to watch football. He could probably give you more of an explanation. There are definitely Super Bowl parties between friends though. Like for example, my football team here, the Puerto Viejo Bulldogs, my team, we do talk about, well, they talk more about the football games, and there were years where they got together to watch the Super Bowl. In Guayaquil, there's also a football team. In Quito, also a football team. And I'm sure they all get together. But nothing like huge, like the tailgate parties from the United States. Like, nothing compares to that. Did you hear about the son of the man running for mayor in Esmeraldas? No, I did not. K&M, can you tell me? Hey, BP, how's it going? What was your take, thoughts, ideas on Manta after your visit? Honestly, when I went to Manta, the only problem was that when I went to Manta, since I had never gone on my motorcycle, I felt like I got lost because I got into Manta and I didn't see the beach. And every time I would go in bus, I would see the beach because I sometimes go to the mall. But that was before, like in a year I'd probably go once or twice. But like I didn't see the beach and I was like, oh no, am I lost? But then afterwards I found my way and I was able to meet up with Don and it was cool. And I also had a problem leaving the city because I almost like pretty much got lost. I was like, how do I get back to Puerto Viejo? So it was a little bit scary, but Manta's great. Like I don't know where the fish smell that everyone's talking about, where it's coming from, but I didn't smell the fish smell. The city, the streets, they look really nice. Not like wow, super perfect paved streets, but like I didn't run into like constant holes. I don't run into constant holes here in Puerto Viejo anymore, but like it's like it was a relief to not see any like constant holes. So Manta was fine. It was a nice city. Where are you settling, making home in Ecuador? Right now, I mean, I'm in Puerto Viejo, but like I do one day, I would love to live in Cuenca or in Loja because of just how safe I hear it is and how beautiful the pictures look. Like just by looking at the pictures, they look amazing. I remember one time I was in Ambato, and Ambato was really pretty also. But I've only been to Ambato once. I got to explore it for a long time. Like I think it was like almost 4 hours, but like I was only there one day, so I never got to like explore more. But I loved how it looked when I went. Cynthia, hello. The current mayor in Puerto Viejo was shot 8 times, and the mayor in Guayaquil is campaigning on the video game Grand Theft Auto. Did I hear right? Not exactly. The current mayor in Puerto Viejo, there technically is no mayor because Casanova, his term ended. Right now is the mayoral campaigns, and one of the candidates, specifically the one that's here on this shirt, Mr. Javier Pincay, he's one of the candidates, and he got shot 8 times. By who? Not sure. probably an unsavory group of individuals who don't want him to be the mayor. And some people are concerned because they think it means that he's in some weird business. Other people just think that it's because he's a threat. Like, people think he might actually win, so get rid of your competition, and I mean, if there's no competition, you win. So I can't guarantee that. And the current mayor of Guayaquil, yes, was campaigning on, if I remember correctly, on Grand Theft Auto. If I can, let me see if I can get the tweet. Twitter. Because if I can get the tweet, you guys can check it out here too. In the chat, if you want, you can go to Twitter and see the tweet. It was a promotion that she was gonna be in the Guayaquil server. Not even Guayaquil, Guayaquil. I was like, why would you post this? Like seriously. Okay, it was 4 days ago. That means around the 1st of February. And let's see here. If not the end of January, January 31st. If I can get you that link, I'm sending it so you can all see it. Because the only thing left is for her to go out with a gun and just start saying, hey, I support this violence. Ah, there we go. Ahora no. This thing is trying to get me. Let me try to share this. Share. Copiar enlace, which is copy link. Paste. There. I just left the link in the chat. You can check it out there if you want to look at the post that she made on Twitter about that. Actually being in the game. Like what? Nah, you did not have to do this. The other one that I saw, I can't find the other video because there was a short video that has the image that I used as my thumbnail. There we go. I think this is it. Guayaquil. You can't be serious. I'm gonna paste that one as well so that you can check it out. But going back to the comments, so yeah, that's the situation. Cynthia, I hope Don took you to lunch for all of us for your birthday. Trust me, we had a great time. We had a great conversation. He actually did give me a gift to help me out with my YouTube career. Not just one, but a few. But this is just one of many. A stand so that I can place my camera, my phone, because I record on my phone. So with this, now I can record my videos. And kind of a late birthday gift, but I loved it. Loved it because this is helping me pursue my dream to make YouTube a full-time thing, to be a full-time YouTuber. But I'm happy. This is like I didn't expect to get anything because like in general for my birthday, I only received one gift from a friend, my friend Arlette. I don't think she's in the live stream. I don't know where she is, but she gave me a coconut pie, I guess you would call it, coconut tart maybe. She gave me two, and she also invited me to some food, and I was like, because no one had given me a gift for my birthday. Like I was actually expecting my brother, because we went out to eat that day. The day of my live stream, we went out to eat, and I thought my brother was gonna, I don't know, give me something like a burger or something, but he didn't give me anything. So I was like, okay. And when he ordered some stuff from Amazon, I thought that he was gonna buy me something, but he didn't. So, I mean, there's no obligation for him to, but you know, it is what it is. And I also bought this for the channel. This I bought myself as a channel birthday gift, so that it's a stabilizer, a gimbal, so that way I can record and the video comes out super stable. I plan on using it to take more prettier, more cinematic shots. and I hope it really shows. I hope I can find a lot of use for it. Maybe I can also use it for vlogging, for making videos where I just walk around and show off things. When I go to Cuenca, I'm hoping to use it because here in Puerto Viejo isn't like you know the best idea for me like to bring it out like that. If it's in the park, maybe one day we could do a live stream just talking in the park and like relaxing. But in general, I wouldn't walk around with my phone out. I've always given that advice and I take it myself because it makes no sense. It's too risky. Um, let's see here. Let's see. There had been many attacks on him to get out of the running and eventually killed it. Wow, that is terrible. I hadn't heard about that, but I'm sorry for his loss. In Spanish, you would say sentidos pésame. I'm gonna write it in the chat. Sentidos pésame. You do say that to people when someone that was someone passed away, a member of someone's family. You tell them sentidos pésame, because you know it's like sorry for your loss, pretty much. It means something more specific, but it goes around that kind of sense. But yeah, that is our intention. But until we have our permanent residency, which is coming up soon, hopefully you get it. Definitely, you got this, K&M. BP, temporary resident living in Ecuador. Yes, I would be wrong about the mayor's son because my Spanish is not great. I hope his son is alive. I don't think any parent should have to see their son or daughter, their child, pass away. It's heavy. It's not what I like. Not what I hope for anyone. Good going, Don. Yes. We are in Ecuador with a temporary visa. Are you happy you brought down a container? Does it give you more options to live? And do not want to disclose our location because we don't know who is seeing our post. Definitely, K&M. It's not necessary. Don't worry about it. But I really hope that wherever you are, it's going really well for you, and it always goes well for you. I personally over here, I think the container was a good choice because if not, even if you had the like, I don't know if the comparison of buying the things over here versus bringing them would have been more efficient or not, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the things we had over there, aside from them having been expensive when we bought them, they also have like a nostalgic value to them. Like when you see a table for so many years, it just, you don't want to let go of that table. I don't know how everyone else feels, but personally, the stuff that I see in my living room, like I would be sad if just one day it were gone. It would be weird, even though I spend most of my time in my room. But even where I have my stuff right now, like here, this is not a table. This is my old bed, and this is like my table. But yeah. One day I will upgrade certain things. Like this chair is pretty uncomfortable, so one day I'll have a new chair. Maybe I will buy a table, an actual table. Maybe I'll buy a computer. But like the things that I have nostalgia with, I definitely do want to keep because they're things that just remind me of my childhood. And just a story about that. One of my best friends, David from the United States, he recently had his son. We talked about this I think last time. I hope everything's going well with him. But he once, when we were kids, he would always visit, and when we would hang out at the house, we had this table that was kind of like a coffee table, and we don't have that table anymore. I honestly don't know what happened to it. But I remember in the States, we would always hang out there, and he remembered it so fondly that he made like a copy of that table in the States because he makes like woodwork and tables and stuff. So he made a copy of that table, and just to like, because it reminded him so much of when we used to hang out together. When I heard that, like, I almost cried because it was so emotional to hear that. And I'm just happy that he remembers us like that fondly. He's been asking me to go to the States for forever, but at least for now, it's not gonna be possible. Hopefully, maybe in the middle of the year, if I can save up, I'll be able to go. Ooh, get thirsty. Uh, Maybe looking towards smaller towns. The container was because we did not know where we were going to live, and we had places from our family dating back to the 1800s. Pieces. Definitely save those things. Those pieces must be both valuable in money and also valuable in feeling. Unloading my life, where to land in Ecuador, what to bring. I have no. Many people know where I am going. Cuenca is 400,000 people. We're not Cuenca, but are in the Pichincha province. Heart for the pieces. Much love. And hopefully when you do come down BP and when you settle in completely KNM, you guys have the most amazing life, no matter where you are. And hopefully you keep checking out the videos. And who knows, maybe one day if you are, if I find you guys, if you're available, we can make a video and talk about, maybe interview, talk about what it was like, what it's like now that you live here, and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool too. There's so many videos that I want to make, and that was part of the stuff. Every time I think we talk about a whole bunch of video ideas, but it's never easy to get them all implemented. They kind of just come as a process. Like, I finally got to meet Don Shader, but imagine, we had been coordinating that since October of last year. Because I remember the message, the last one we had to meet up was in October. So sometimes it just takes time. Because, for example, I had to go to Manta by myself, and it would have been easier, and especially if we're going to make a big video, it would definitely be easier if we had like a crew. Even if the crew were just one or two more people. Because someone to help us record, someone to help watch the stuff, because even if it's Manta and I don't know about 100% the safety of Manta, there are some dangerous parts. Like, some friends told me don't come to Manta because it's dangerous, but Don Shader, nothing's happened to Don Shader. So it's like, you know, you have to be cautious. So it's always good to have someone to just, you know, help you just watching the stuff. Because even if I'm being recorded and I can see my stuff, if someone comes up and like runs with it, like, it's gonna be hard to catch them. So, you know, it's just things, details. But like, I had video ideas. I even have an idea I want to record for Carnaval. Either it's gonna be a live stream or it's gonna be a pre-recorded video. I'm kind of going with the idea of pre-recorded, so I can like, so I don't have to have my camera out all the time, and I can just like put it down and like, you know, go to more strategic places that aren't as dangerous. I'm gonna get foamed so hard if I do Carnaval, a video of Carnaval, but that's gonna be fun. You guys get to enjoy watching me get foamed if that happens. But I need to coordinate for that. Everything that is done, I always do it with coordination. Sometimes I have fun with it too. Like the day I went to record the video of the anime sinfónico, basically the anime concert, it was a little bit more like a little bit less planned, just more of like a fun video. Go out, show you what it's like, show you one of my hobbies, one of the things that I love, anime, and just enjoy it together. Talk, maybe answer some questions. Like, I like that stuff. Like, I like this interaction. Like when we get to talk and just say a lot of things. Cool. The feeling as we came towards when we decided, I just remember tears and breathing. This is it. This is it. Ecuador is where it's at. I feel like there used to be a slogan for travel for Ecuador, but I can't remember what it was. Ecuador is the promised land, and I am not that religious. Carnaval is supposed to be amazing in Puerto Quito. I've seen a lot of different Carnaval festivals online, also the ones that I've lived through over here. It's really just a lot of people throwing foam, a lot of people throwing water. If they're not doing that, they're throwing you into pools. A lot of dancing. It looked really interesting, some of the festival, like the celebration in Quito. I also think I saw one in Ambato in a video, and I thought it was really cool. Like, it's not like here. Like here, like, well, there was the foam and stuff, but there was also like that parade and festival and stuff. Over here, it's just everyone goes to the beach. Puerto Viejo becomes super empty. Everyone goes to the beach. That's always my expectation here. They do have a river party. I need to go to a river party. I need to do a lot of things. I really want to have a different kind of like experience for Carnaval this year. I'm hoping I can. I'm just hoping that someone will join me for it, because if not, it's gonna be very difficult to carry everything around and like organize. And I think right now, if someone doesn't already have a place at the beach or a vehicle, it's gonna be very complicated, because I think, if I remember correctly, in my video about the holidays in Ecuador, I don't remember if I gave the advice, but you have to be very cautious when planning for Carnaval. Ideally, if you want a place for Carnaval before, like, if you want a good place for Carnaval, you have to rent a place with tons of time in advance. Like, if you haven't rented a place by now, it's probably too late. You're probably gonna have, at every place is either gonna be super expensive or it's gonna be full. You're not gonna find a place to rent at a beach. If you come to the city, different story. Most cities are gonna be empty. Like even Puerto Viejo, I think, is not gonna have like a lot of people. But the beach, it's gonna be difficult to get a place to rent. It's just my feeling, letting people know where you live, the strengths and weaknesses help other people decide where to live. Moving is difficult. I see people sharing. Yeah, I mean, but it depends. K&M, they're not like making a video about it, so it's not their intention. It's just more like, telling their experience, and I think that's really cool. I'm glad that K&M shared so much information with us here today. But if you wanna say where you're living, where you're from, that's always cool. I'm personally in Puerto Viejo because I feel like if I need to let you guys know the situation here, like of Ecuador, specifically where I'm at, it's gotta be Puerto Viejo. If not, you're gonna be confused. If I tell you, oh no, this is Loja, you're gonna think Loja is like this and Loja is not like this. Loja is very different from Puerto Viejo. So, every place is different. So, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say? Any questions? Is there anything anyone wants to talk about? Because I think with that, we've got everything. I wanted to talk about future plans. Future videos are to go to Cuenca, obviously record in other cities, depending on the logistics. I'm hoping to record a big video with Don Shader. Hopefully Don is still up for the vid. I do want to make a video for Carnaval. Just depends on if I can do it. The most current video is going to be the one about the story of Vera in Ukraine. If I can finish editing it today and tomorrow, I will edit it today or tomorrow. Finish editing it, upload it, and it should be ready on Monday, maximum Tuesday. I want it for Monday because hopefully Monday I'm gonna record another video. Hopefully the video podcast. And then there's also other than that, other city videos if possible. There were some questions. That's one of the most recent videos that I've been planning on making. I'm gonna make a video, a Q&A video that's going to respond a whole bunch of questions that I've gotten in the comments. So every time you leave a question in the comments, now I'm screenshotting it and saving it so that later I make a video dedicated to 5 to 10 questions and me just answering those 5 or 10 questions. And that way you have a bit more responses. Maybe they're gonna be a little bit spread out, but sometimes it's hard to make each question one video. So I'm gonna make a video where I talk about a lot of questions. And I think that'll be pretty fun too. I'll label them like in the title or in the thumbnail. It'll probably say Q&A number 1, Q&A number 2. So that way you'll know that it's just a whole bunch of questions and me giving answers to the questions. So we can be more informed. Thank you for being so open. I just found you a couple weeks ago and appreciate your videos. K&M, thank you so much for your kind words. Um, it always motivates me to make more videos because sometimes it's hard to know that you're doing the right thing because sometimes the views they don't show. Like some of my videos get 300, 400 views, some videos get 1,000 or more, and sometimes if I don't see comments it's hard for me to know if like the video helped, if there's something else you needed to know about that topic. um, I always try to help, but in order to help I need the feedback. I do my investigations. I always check videos that others are making to see what's helping everyone, what everyone's looking for. But even sometimes it's difficult when you're doing this by yourself. And I consider myself to still be learning. I've been doing this for like 2 years now, but even I consider that I'm still learning. I think it's more than 2 years now, but I'm still learning. It's a process. And I'm just glad it helps, and I hope it can keep helping because that's the purpose of all of this. YouTube is a platform that, yes, it turns your videos into a business because I've seen everyone turns their channels into a business, and you're told as a YouTube creator or as a content creator in general, you have to treat your channel like a business. I'm in the business of giving information, I guess, because that's the only way I can view my channel. One day, maybe I'll sell merch. If you guys are interested in buying hats, maybe one day I can sell hats or shirts, or maybe I can give advice, like very specifically we can consult and like we can have like a day where we sit down and talk and give advice if that is something that interests you. Honestly, I don't want to have to like charge anyone anything for anything. It's gonna be necessary at one point, I assume, because that's just the way businesses work. I appreciate the support, the people who donate to the channel, the people who donate to buy me a coffee because that's my donation page. The people who become members, I still don't have members on the channel, but if you want to become a member, you can become a member and your name will have the logo, this logo of my channel next to it, and you'll have access to emojis. I'll also share private community posts, and you'll have priority response to my questions. In Buy Me a Coffee, there's other benefits as well if you prefer a different platform, not YouTube. So if you want to support me, I always appreciate it. It helps me out. But I would much prefer that YouTube, the company YouTube, just it lets me treat this like a job. Maybe I can make money on YouTube because when people get a lot of views, apparently they get paid a lot. I've seen the videos of people who get hundreds of thousands of views and they can actually treat this like a job. For me right now, this is a job, but very, very small side job because it's not something that's helping me make a living. When I'm and for me, for something to become a, like for this to become something that I can make into a living, it has to be able to support me and my family. Like I have to be able to not have to work as a teacher and just focus on this, make videos, and with what I make off with the videos I record, I can just help my parents out, help them hopefully retire because they deserve it. They need some peace and relaxation, and it's kind of frustrating having to hold yourself back a lot as a single person, as someone who, like with Don, we talked about this. It's like, oh, like, you know, you might want, well, don't you want to live in the beach? And like, there's a lot of things I want to do. I want to go to the beach. I want to travel more, but I'm limited by my circumstances. In my life, I've given myself luxuries, if you will. Like I bought my things, obviously, but it's not something that I've always been able to do. And the situation right now isn't like, oh, I can do this all the time. So it's just the life that I live, and I'm not mad about it because I enjoy the time that I have for myself. I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy being helpful, useful to people who like what I'm talking about. It's fun. It's a great experience getting to know everyone, having these conversations, getting to know where everyone's living and what everyone's doing. Like I don't need to specifically know where you are, but if you're in Ecuador and you're enjoying it and my content has been useful, then thank you very much. Or you're welcome. I don't know. Thank you for watching, and you're welcome for having been useful to you. Canaan, you appreciate your videos. Ace, how was your motorcycle trip to Manta? Was driving safe? Did other motorists behave? Yes. As far as I saw on my trip to Manta when I went on the motorcycle, everyone was driving in their lane. Everyone was driving really well. Everyone was, having a good time. They were like nothing was too crazy. Sometimes you see the speed limit. It says like 80 or 90, and people will go to like 10 or 20 kilometers per hour over that. But like, I don't see it as a big deal because everyone here doesn't see it as a big deal, so it wasn't terrible. My parents were worried because they were like, no, you should have just taken the bus, because they know how people drive sometimes. Like, we've talked about this before with friends and even my family. You can be the best driver ever. You can drive perfectly your whole life, but all it takes is one person who's drunk driving or who drives absolutely like trash for you to get in trouble, for something bad to happen to you. That's the reality everywhere, not just in Ecuador. Ecuador just because there's a lot more freedom to go fast. But everywhere in the world, you could find bad drivers, people who drive too fast, people who drive recklessly. It is what it is. I don't like it, but I also know that I'm not the person who has to change that. There has to be more control by the police and the higher ups. Cynthia, I've been going through many of your previous videos and really enjoy them, and many of them both informative and entertaining, which is for me the perfect balance. The driving video, for example. Thanks. Cynthia, you're welcome. I'm really happy that the video was able to be both informative and enjoyable. I always try to focus on the videos being as detailed as possible while at the same time being fun. Because I realize sometimes a video where it's just like too much information, like if I were just to put a whole bunch of text and talk with the text, like maybe it might not be fun. But that's why I try to make things move, I show visuals, and I try to make it more interesting. Even my most recent cost of living video, I made it super dynamic with images, movement, so that it would be more entertaining and also at the same time mega informative. That is more detailed than the video I made about a year and a few months ago, the first cost of living video, because this is my second one. And in the future, when I get more values for like Cuenca and other cities, I do plan on making more cost of living videos if possible. Ace, did Don mention he's doing the golf course video? Yes. He had told me, like I remember he did the interview to the Canadian family who was living in Montecristi, and he does want to record the golf course video too. I'm hoping he gets to do it soon. It's a video that even I'm like very curious. I would also love to like explore the golf course, see what it's like, because I've never been on a golf course. I've always seen them. My brother used to play a little bit of golf when he was in school, but like just like learning how to play. But I've never like gotten a chance to like play golf. So many things, to be honest. Are there any questions? Is there anything anyone wants to talk about? Anything anyone wants to say? Do you want to say hi, or just a random conversation, random question? We can talk for a little while longer, and then afterwards, I think we can end today's stream. So I'd like to hear from you. Is there anything you'd like to know, talk about, questions, anything you'd like to say, feedback, maybe for a video or an idea, something that you think might help the channel, something that you think might help me, something that you think might help someone else. Is there anything you would like to say? I'm here and I'm ready. I'm ready. It's funny because when I use this, I grab this, I'm always like, this is gonna be my protection. I'm gonna be able to protect myself with this. But I don't think so. I come to Manta alone this upcoming week. What can I expect weather-wise? In terms of Manta, I'd like to say that it's been rainy these days. Even Dawn had a power outage the other day. So it's it's probably a good idea to expect rain. Because even the day that I went to visit Dawn, I was really worried because in the morning it was like normal. It was sunny. It was like okay, like this is a good day to go. Then when I was leaving my house, it started to get dark, and I was like, not today. On my way to Manta, I could have sworn I felt a drop of water, one drop, and I was like, oh boy. But it didn't rain. Even on my way back while we were there, it didn't rain. So I was like, and then the day after it rained. And then these days, it's just been raining here in Puerto Viejo. And since Puerto Viejo and Manta are practically neighbors, they're very close, an hour away, I would expect rain. Lol, yes. Watch out, you try to rob me, I got something for you. And it can extend. So pack my battery pack, my battery backups. Yes, gotcha. Yes, always come prepared. I do recommend definitely a raincoat. If you have an umbrella, maybe bring an umbrella. Although the frustrating thing about a raincoat is, when you're walking around with it, it starts to drip water all over the place. So you kind of feel like I don't know, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm leaving a water trail. Though you could say the same thing about an umbrella, but an umbrella, I would probably just shake it off and then carry it around like a baton, or like have it like, just in case. But, just make sure you come prepared for rain. I think that's the most likely expectation. If it doesn't rain, better for you. You have the umbrella just in case. But if it's more likely to rain, considering that rainy season, in my mind, has officially started. Even my dad said that it started super late now, so there's a high chance that it's gonna last longer than it has normally. It's not gonna last long. It's just gonna, instead of ending when it normally ends, it's gonna end a little later. We are having huge rains right now. Thank goodness I have Aventry headphones connected to my TV so I can hear you. Excellent. I'm glad you can hear me like that. It's actually not raining now. Earlier, I swear, it was before I recorded, before I came in to do the live stream, it was like, or 30 minutes before, it was raining. When I was about to start my live stream, it was still kind of raining. I started my live stream, rain is gone. And I heard my dog outside, like, barking, like Chief. His name is Chief. He was like, oh, oh, and like. Sometimes when he barks, it makes me think that it's gonna rain or he's scared because of the rain. But he's been acting kind of spoiled these days. Cloud Forest, only hint, and I do not live in Mindo. I have to go to Mindo one day, and the whole Cloud Forest. I heard there's an area in the Cloud Forest that was pretty nice, but I hope everything's good over there, and I hope it stops raining or that the rain settles down a bit. There's a lot of things that a lot of places I wanna visit. To be honest, I just have to find a way to do it. I still want to go to Quito one day, just because there's a lot of events there, a lot of anime events, and like I said, anime events, I'm a big fan. Mindo is amazingly beautiful. I have heard. I want to make one of those super amazing travel videos in Mindo, also in Baños, because Baños is like the I guess you would say the pinnacle of touristic cities here. Baños and probably the mitad del mundo, middle of the world. They're just like places that you want to go to, and like you just have to go to. As someone who makes content, you have to go there and experience it for yourself to give your perspective. It just feels that way. But I don't have a rush to do so because, like I said, my main focus is making content that is useful for you, for everyone who's watching the content. So yeah, ziplining, chocolate tasting, river tubing, canopy cars, and bicycles and more. That ziplining has me very curious. The chocolate tasting as well. I have wanted to do a video where with me and like maybe two other people, we compare the chocolate that Ecuador has, and we rank the best chocolate in Ecuador that you should buy if you're gonna like, if you visit and you want to take it with you. Because a lot of people I think visit here, and you know, if it's Ecuadorian, then you know, just whatever. But like, if we could choose the best ones for someone to like buy, I think that would be really helpful for people who just want to buy the best chocolate, not any chocolate, the best chocolate. Even though I would argue that most of the chocolate here in Ecuador is exquisite. I don't know how to speak in a French accent, so just imagine that I tried. Cellula, bring your cellula. I will go prepared. Is Ecuadorian election tomorrow? Yes. The Ecuador election is tomorrow. There is a fine. Yes, there is a fine if you don't vote. There's also a fine if you were sent to a table. This happens more for citizens, of course, but if you had to go to if you had to be a part of the people who count the votes and are at the tables, and you didn't go, then you will get fined also for that. Any other thoughts on election? What items to change constitution? Honestly, I have no idea. There's so little faith in politics here. Like I said before, there's a lot of people who just don't believe in politicians. My aunt, she said in Guayaquil, no candidate. There's none that she feels is worthy for the vote, like to be the next mayor. So like we right now they have the Cynthia Viteri, the one who played the Grand Theft Auto and everything, and she hasn't fulfilled her promises. So re-electing her just seems like getting the same thing that you had these past few years. Over here, my concern is I probably will vote for Byron Josa because he's the best choice, but even he could be like Lenin Moreno was to Rafael Correa, and he could end up doing everything horribly wrong instead of doing everything amazingly right. So it really depends on the kind of person he is, and I'm hoping he's the right kind of person. It's really cool when Mr. Casanova left the office and everyone celebrated him. I was gonna share the image that someone made, but I was worried about copyright because it's not my image, and everyone like they made images of him, Mr. Casanova, when he left the office, like thank you for everything that you did for us. So it's hopefully the next person who takes his position, Byron, hopefully, if he's the same as him, he does amazing things too. That would be a great idea. You would need to rate the chocolate on the different sugar levels and flavors. Probably. There would have to be it would be another one of those big videos, like the one of the Manaví food. So I would have to take a lot of factors into consideration. Maybe get the opinion from someone, like maybe my friends from Switzerland again. We can do the taste test, and since they have a foreign taste, it would help out a lot too. I feel always if it's just me rating it, you'd have to completely trust me and my opinion. But with various opinions, it's not just me, it's also an opinion from someone who's not from here, someone from a different place, like me from the States, my friends from Switzerland, maybe an actual Ecuadorian, so we all have our opinions. Itchy Feet did the chocolate comparison. It's hysterical a year ago. I need to check that out. Last time I voted for the Prime Minister of Canada, I said, I will do a better video than Itchy Feet though, that's for sure. Last time I voted for I settled on settling on the lesser of all evils is probably the best choice at that point. On the cheap is interesting. Yeah, I remember he used to live here. If we're talking about the same person, but Itchy Feet used to be here in Ecuador. I don't know if we're talking about the same person because Don Shader also mentioned another person who was a motorcycle driver, I think, but I was thinking of someone else. More interesting in Ecuador than Cambodia. Okay. Itchy Feet compared 70% all the different types made in Ecuador. Wow, that's a lot. I actually wanted to. One of the things that I wanted to do was also compare not chocolate, coffee, because I know a lot of people love coffee. So I was wondering which was the best Ecuadorian coffee. Just that I don't consider myself a coffee expert, so I would have to get again people who really love coffee to give their opinion. His wife is a teacher. She's teaching in Cambodia now. Oh, I'm happy for him. I would grab more than one nationality for sure. Definitely. I like that variety because it makes it more realistic. If it's just all Ecuadorians, and obviously Ecuadorians have their own specific taste. If it's just me, it's just my taste. But if you have different opinions, then it's easier to get an idea because everyone has a different idea. And you can say, "Oh, this is the thing. Oh, I resonate with what this person explained, or I resonate with what you explained." You know. You probably are thinking the same person, probably. I ordered chocolate covered coffee beans from La Verde Oveja. I need to check that out, especially with that. Sounds like it was yummy. I disagree. I like comparison of all Ecuadorian types of chocolate. I need to. Oh no, obviously it's gonna be all the chocolates, but from different people from like different places, maybe. Like ideally me, my friends from Switzerland, and maybe one person who's Ecuadorian. And I don't know, maybe I can get another person in the video. It all depends. It really depends first on when, if I can find the chocolate, and who can join me. Because I also have an encebollado competition planned, but I need my judges, and my judges are like always busy, so it's kind of like complicated. Darn CDNs can keep your life going forever. CDNs? Is that the coffee? They say that dark chocolate is really healthy for you. It's healthy, not really healthy, but it's healthy in comparison to normal chocolate. Ah, Canadians. Didn't know that. Do we have any other questions, by the way? Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about? If not, then so we can wrap up today's stream. Hopefully make another one sometime this month, maybe at the end. Or maybe for everyone else here who's a single, lonely heart, we can all spend Valentine's Day together maybe on the 14th. I have no idea what I'm gonna do that day, so I'm like, maybe we can do a live stream, singles live stream. What it's like to be single in Ecuador. No, that would be silly, and I don't think so. That's just me being silly, giving out silly ideas. But who knows? We can hang out one of these days, talk about more topics because there's still a lot of things to talk about. Right now with the elections, once that ends, over. Will you let us know how the election goes, the sentiment in Ecuador? I will definitely do my best to create a community post talking about what the results were. And as long as no one is against it, I'll also give the general opinion of the people who I hear from all the time. Because everyone's opinion is going to be different. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people who are happy. Obviously, if you sided with the side who won, you're going to be ecstatic. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to be like, no, this person is horrible. This person, I can't believe they elected this person. So it's going to be a big mixed bag, I'm pretty sure. But I do want to see how it progresses. I'll give the results, like these are the winners. But and I'll give you the general sentiment, and then in the process of the year, I'll try to update to see what everyone feels. Are the proposals on their way? Was something discovered? Did something happen? Another thing that I want to do, and I just remembered because Fluffy, someone who comments on the channel, a fellow audience member. I'm not sure if we should call the audience acers, but let's just say someone from the community, they did say that they wanted videos of me teaching Spanish, explaining certain Spanish expressions and words, short videos, just small 60-second videos, so you can learn some new expressions and vocabulary. So I'm gonna see if I get together with some friends, maybe my friends from Switzerland, and we can practice some expressions that we've heard constantly and just make short videos. And I'll upload them every other day, maybe, if I, depending on how many videos I make, because I have to get an idea for the videos as well. I will update you for our areas through email. Excellent, K&M. I will be waiting for that update, and I hope that the areas are always perfect. 60 plus black woman, she just moved to Manta. If she wants to tell us about how things are for her, that would be great. I would love it. I'd love to hear it. Hopefully she has a good time in Manta. Flynn's on the Fly just moved to Malagatos. I remember watching one of Flynn's on the Flies videos. But I haven't watched a lot of their videos. Weren't they in Cuenca? I think. See, I knew it. I think I watched one of their videos recently. I tried to ask them if they wanted to, collab, maybe talk, but they didn't reply. So it's okay. I know that not everyone's gonna want to collab, make a video together because everyone has their time, their schedules, Chris and Mike from Canada just moved north of Olon. Cool. I can see everyone's getting around. I feel like I'm the only one who's just always been here in Puerto Viejo, but it's fine. I feel comfortable here. Not safe all the time, but comfortable because I have my motorcycle, my family, my friends. Once you get used to the lifestyle, it becomes very comfortable. But I have been getting out of my comfort zone, going to Manta, organizing to go to Cuenca, recording outside, but of course not in dangerous areas, but in an area where I feel like nothing bad's gonna happen. So I'm working on it. It's all a process, and it'll keep getting better from here. I'm sure. It's like you gotta threaten yourself, like everything's gonna be great. I have been going with that positive mantra this year, like trying to reach my goals. Hopefully reaching 10K subscribers on YouTube. Hopefully getting maybe a sponsorship from some brand. Maybe getting to do more collab videos. I started my podcast, my video podcast. Hopefully I can get more guests to interview. It'll mainly be people that I know, and I don't want to just get people with like, just someone to interview. I want it to be someone who can talk about something that not everyone can talk about. Like, for example, my friend Daniel, who I want to interview as well, he can talk about the situation with sports here in Ecuador. Not just that, but he's an ex-lawyer, like he used to be a lawyer. Now he's a teacher, and he's a university teacher. So he can give his opinion about working at a university, what it's been like being a teacher at a university, what it was like being a lawyer here in Ecuador, work, the pay, what it's like getting a degree that you don't exactly use to do your job. Because that's a problem here also. People, they graduate as something, but they can't work as that. There are people who graduated as doctors who are taxi drivers because they can't find work as a doctor. One of my friends who gave me information about the cost of the ES for my cost of living video, even he recently graduated from, like he's like got his full degree as a doctor. He did the rural and a whole bunch of other things, and he can't find a job as a doctor. So it's complicated. You can go into turtle mode when you have been robbed. We were robbed in Quito. Yeah, the time that I got robbed, I actually made a video about that a long time ago. I got robbed here in Puerto Viejo. I didn't want to go out, and it's scary. in general, I mean, even when you don't get robbed, just hearing how people get robbed makes you feel like you gotta be cautious at least. Like you don't have to stay holed up in your house. I personally like being at home because I like watching videos, I like relaxing, but it's 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 tough going out and like just being carefree. Like I can't go out and be like this. Not like I should because if I go out, I probably shouldn't just be on my phone. But it's tough going out and using your phone because you never know what could happen. That's why I don't even risk going out walking, even to places that are kind of close, because I don't want to lose anything. I can just drive on my in my motorcycle, so it could be safe. It's very helpful to me where people are going, how it's going. I moved to Ecuador this year, and where to land is a real challenge. I don't want to move a lot of times. Moving itself is huge. A friend, one of my friends, her parents are moving to Manta, and they were supposed to move on one weekend, but since they have to move the stuff little by little, it's probably gonna take until the end of the month for them to move. At BP, I wish there was private messaging. I have email if Ace will take off after you get it. No, yeah, don't post emails on here. If you guys want, definitely you can send me an email on my about section in my YouTube channel, and I can send you guys each other's emails so that way you guys can communicate. Because I don't want anyone to put their information out there to be at risk. Mine is because it's a business email, and that's just, if you need help with something, if you'd like to sponsor me, if you'd like to send something, anything, like just, it's more business related. My email is in my about section. I don't know if I can link that. Let me see if I can do that right now. Because you just go to my YouTube channel and you go to the section that says about. Like if you go all the way to the right, there's a section that says about. And let me see if I can just copy and paste it there. Paste it here. Yeah, it says about. So you just go to the about section and you'll see details, and it says for business inquiries, and you can view the email address, and my business email is there. And you can message me there. I can help you there. Like if you need me to send you each other's email, I can do that. If you have any questions, maybe I can make a video on it. If you have any criticism, comments, anything you'd like to tell me, I don't mind, because that's what my email's there for. I don't mind sharing it. Please be kind, because I always try to be kind to everyone. So I hope for kindness too. I don't think you guys would do anything anyways bad, because you guys are great. I love you guys. You've been here. I've enjoyed having this conversation. I don't know everyone else. If you want to say something also, like hi, because it says there are 12 people here. So it would be cool if everyone were talking, having a big conversation. It's always really fun. But I feel like if it were too big, I'd be like, oh my god, so many messages. Of course, Canadians. Gotta love Canada. I can't wait to go one day to Canada. It's like, I remember my friend Diana, a friend of mine, she went to Canada one time and she loved it. It was really cold. She's living in a colder place now, Minot, but I think it's colder, I'm not sure. But it was cold, but she said she loved it. Canada was so beautiful. She really wanted to go back. But she ended up living in the States. She recently also got married. I mentioned that, I think, in my live stream in December. But, she had a good time. Nunavut? I don't know. No idea. I just know that she was there and she had a good time. And she went to go practice her English some more for like a program, with a program. But yeah, then she came back and now she's studying in the United States. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know where she went in Canada, but I know that she's in the States now, She's in Minot, and she recently got married. I'm happy for her, like I said. I'm hoping that she said she probably won't be back to Ecuador for like another 2 years. It's been like a year already, so maybe one more year till she can come back. But she knows we'll always be waiting. The important thing is that she's doing well. So yeah, anyone else? Are there any questions? Do you guys want to talk about anything else? If not, I think we'll end the stream there. I don't know how much battery my phone has left, but I do need to charge it and start getting ready to finish the edits for my video. Between today and tomorrow, I should have the video finished, and hopefully tomorrow or Monday, I will upload the video so that everyone can see it and you can understand what happened to Vera. If you didn't watch the video, Vera's video, you could watch it. It's in Spanish. If you understand Spanish very well, then perfect. But if not, I'm gonna retell her story, so you know what happened. So be ready for that. KNM, you have an excellent night too. I hope you enjoy your dinner. I'm also gonna go enjoy making mine. Take care and ace out. And everyone else, thank you so much. Are people happy with current president? Is he doing a good job? Tough couple of years, prison, wars, COVID. There's a lot of dissatisfaction with the current president. There might be a group of people, and that's what I said earlier. I think it's more the upper class that's happy with the president, because a lot of the reforms, a lot of the things that he's done seem to be more geared towards benefiting the upper class, or it affects the upper class less. But everyone else, it's like, no, they're not happy. But everyone else is also very much aware that they did not want to switch from the dollar to something else, because that would have been a very difficult transition. Tough couple years, prison wars. The prison wars have been bad. COVID, at least he got the vaccines. And during the paro, I wouldn't say he did great, but I don't know what else anyone could have done to make the paro better. Like, it felt like the only thing that could have been better about that paro was if it would have lasted less time. Because it did last a very long time. Longer than I would have expected, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, is paro always, I'm guessing, resolved? Right now, I don't know if there's another paro. So far, there hasn't been any like big conflicts. Like, I haven't heard anything. I know this Monday there's no work, but only because after the elections, there's like a day off. Santo Domingo has been going through huge prison riots. I think that's pretty normal. Not normal in a good way, but normal in the sense that, like, these prison riots, it's like I said earlier with criminals, like, even if they go to jail is like their second home. So even if they get arrested, they're still like, whatever, because I go to jail and like jail is my home. And I've even heard stories of prisoners who like own the jail pretty much. Like, if you want to stay in jail without getting killed, you have to like pay for rent. And it's like, what are you talking about? But crazy stuff. It almost sounds like what happened in Guayaquil. The whole situation where the inmates were killing each other and it was just chaos at the jails. But I haven't heard too much about that. What do you mean about the dollar? Yes, Ecuador uses the United States dollar. We use the dollar here. I talked about that in my 22 tips video. But there was the chance, the slightest possibility, that if Lasso would not have been elected as president, the alternative president choice, and I remember now his name is Arauz, he would have made it so that the dollar was no longer the main form of currency. Just imagine that he would have implemented something like the Ecuadorian peso or something like that. So I can imagine just how bad things would have gotten. Like, things are bad with the dollar. Imagine switching to a form of currency that no one had any idea what was going to happen with it. It would be like going back to the sucre, which the sucre was super devalued before it like switched into the dollar. Would you be interested in having a website? It may be good for organizing your diverse pursuits. There's a lot of things that I'm interested in. I want to have a website. I want to put my podcast, like my podcast is video style right now, but after the second episode, I'm also going to put it on podcast sites so that anyone who wants to download it, they can download it and they don't have to watch it. They can just listen. And I think the download is free. I don't know if you have to sign up for the podcast site or something, create an account. But what I do know, it's something that I want to do. I want to create the podcast to be also audio. I want to the website. I definitely wanted one because I've heard that it's a good idea to have a website. Offer different kinds of services. Like I said before, maybe merch. I do want to also, video ideas, like I said before, but a lot of things that I already mentioned, like the travel plans and stuff like that. Why are things bad with the dollar? I can't say things are bad with the dollar. It's just that the person who wanted to run for president, Arauz, the alternate choice, was suggesting that changing from the dollar would improve the economy. Is this true? I don't know, because we didn't change from the dollar. But maybe if it would have changed, things would have gotten better eventually. And at the same time, maybe if it would have changed, we could have gone from bad to worse. Could have. I can't guarantee it. Step by step, definitely. Lasso's profession is a banker. Yes, from what I understand, he is a banker. Everyone calls him as such because, if I remember correctly, he's the owner of the Banco de Guayaquil, if I remember correctly. That's why people think that his interests are in the upper class, because he's an upper class man himself. As a banker, I mean, he's not like, he doesn't need money. So many things, to be honest. Are there any other questions? I take the white tab out of the bottle. It makes it easier to drink. The white tab. Ah, you mean this thing? I always just keep it on. I'm just, I don't know why. It just seems to be like something of mine. Is the paro over? Ooh, the paro's been over forever. I don't know if there's another new updated paro, but we haven't had a paro since the last one, which was crazy. There have been talks that there is people who don't like the way some things are going, and like K&M is saying right now, paro is always a possibility because a lot of people. It's funny how people take it here. Like the paro is just like for students, no classes. For workers, no work. Although that also means no money. And it's just, it's such a weird time. Because there's so much uncertainty of how long it's going to last, what's going to happen. When there was the paro in Quito, like the whole big situation there, like people were getting robbed in their stores, like for opening for work. And it's like, so you don't want me to work, I can't make money, and you're gonna rob me if I try to work? Like, I don't know, people are crazy. Weren't there a long list of issues? There was a long list. There was. I mean, the issues that wanted to be resolved, and I talked about that in the video. There were a lot of things that the CONAIE, I think that's what they were, the name of their organization, a lot of things that they asked for. But I don't think everything was resolved, but they came to an agreement, which was the best thing that they could do, because resolving everything that they wanted just felt like it was going to be impossible. In my mind, I didn't see Lasso wanting to do everything that they were asking for. Public health care went downhill with taxing issues from COVID. wanted more money for public education. The public education thing is just horrible because I don't even know if the wage for teachers has gone up yet. There's also the situation with public health care. I heard that there was this kind of the government was cracking down on institutions, on hospitals, because the hospitals were sending people to buy medicine. The public hospitals were sending people to buy medicine when it's their job to give the people the medicine, which means that the hospitals, the people working or owning the hospitals, were taking the money that the government was giving them in order to make themselves rich and not pay for the medicine. Like, where do you see that? Like, what? Like, that's just horrible on a different level because you're messing with people who are unhealthy and they don't have money. Like, a lot of people who use public healthcare, it's because they don't have money to afford normal or, well, private healthcare. So they have to go to the public one and they can't afford the medicine. It reminds me of something that I heard in the States of these non-profit hospitals that are making a profit from people. It's crazy. If you feel there may be a paro in the future, get a backup propane tank, a few extra water jugs, and look into canning. Yep. We're making a video, how to prepare for the next paro. It's gonna scare people because they're gonna be like, there's gonna be another paro? Oh God, no. You wanna be prepared. BP, did they fix that? They're in the process of fixing that because they're cracking down on it. They obviously need to get the evidence, which is clear because there are people paying for their medicine, and then go through the process. It's not gonna be something fast. We live in a place where, like for example, here in Ecuador, things just don't work fast. It's already bad enough that I understand that any legal dispute, not just here but in the world, it's just a lot of money, it's a lot of time, and the more time it takes, the more money you spend. ES versus private healthcare. I just had to go to Sorca last week and cannot imagine people having to pay out of pocket that are Ecuadorian. Like I said before, minimum wage, $450. The things that, like some things cost here, it just makes no sense. I don't know how some people get by. I understand, like, if you have mom and dad, two people working in a household, but both of them at minimum wage, you're still risking it, but it's difficult. Plant a garden. Gardens are only good for those that have green space. Both correct. Having a garden would be great, but you gotta have space for a garden. And you also have to have a green thumb. I can't see myself like being able to take care of a plant. I'm good at taking care of myself, but like a plant, I would love to have a little bonsai tree though. That would be really nice. There's so many things I want, but someday. For now, make do with what we got and keep getting better. All right, so I think now would be a very good time to end the stream. I can only grow pink flowers and papayas. That's still really cool. I can't even grow a papaya. I wish I had some flowers. I think I'm gonna buy myself like a flower for Valentine's Day, just to be like my Valentine's Day gift to myself. Or I'll like draw a flower on this and be like, my flower. You're welcome, BP. I hope that we were able to help. And K&M, thank you also for helping answer the questions, having this long conversation with us. I hope you enjoyed it. BP, hope you enjoyed it. Everyone else in the chat, I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. I hope that we can have more live streams in the future. I don't know when. Obviously, it's gonna depend on the time, but hopefully we can have more. Take care, K&M. Enjoy your dinner. Have a great rest of your day. BPE, have a great rest of your day. Don Shader, if you're still there, or if if you see the replay, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and that you feel better from the fall. And everyone else, Cynthia, hopefully everyone is fine, and take care of yourselves. So glad Don, your buddy, gave you a hug and a present and fun times always. Don is great. Hopefully we can meet up again. We've got lots of things to do. Everyone, please take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you drink tons of water. I actually ran out of mine. Stay safe, and as always, Ace out.